Competition so far this campaign. Nusayr Mazraoui we expect to move to the left-hand side, the Moroccan adaptable in that way. Ugarte alongside Meru in the middle of the midfield, with Bruno Fernandes and Alejandro Garnacho supporting the striker Rasmus Højlund in attack. The Southampton team, Aaron Ramsdale in goal, similar formation with Bree, Bednarek and Harwood Bellis as the three at the back. Sugawara and Walker Peters are the wing backs. Joe Aribo, Leslie Ugochukwu in the middle of the midfield. Tyler Dibbling and Mateus Fernandes in support of Kemaldine Sulemana up top. The referee tonight is John Brooks, and he blows the whistle to get us underway. Manchester United playing from left to right as we look down. Andre Onana, dressed all in purple, will dribble up almost to the centre circle before playing it right-footed, long and searching. Bree jumps on the edge of the Southampton penalty area, wins the header. Mazraoui has started on the left-hand side, and Ahmad very much as the right wing-back, where he operated in the early games after Ruben Amorim arrived, and he provided plenty of assists from this wing-back position. And with him and Yoro alongside each other, it's a youthful but energetic looking right-hand side of the Manchester United defence. United have it with Mazraoui just outside his own penalty area. Back to Lisandro Martinez, who under pressure from Tyler Dibbling clears away. Not a clean clearance though, and Aribo will get a touch in the midfield. How Southampton would love a strong start here, because they know Manchester United can be fragile in front of their own supporters if things aren't going well. This is Ahmad on the attack for Manchester United. Gets to within 5 yards of the penalty area and plays a dreadful pass. Bruno Fernandes was 10 yards away from him, but he just didn't look, and he played it wide of his teammate and out for a throw.
Yeah, I've watched Manchester United here so many times over the last couple of seasons, and one thing I've always been disappointed with is how slow they tend to start games. They sort of let the opposition settle into it. They want to knock the ball around at the back. There's no real intensity to the games, and you know, after what they've stated, I was hoping tonight they'd come and try and start really quickly. Ahmad did there, but sloppy pass. I'm sure they'll try and have that intensity up quick if, you know, as I said, they want to start playing as they've stated publicly.
That's the voice of Leon Oswald watching this game with us tonight. We're live at Old Trafford. This is BBC Radio 5 Live, the Premier League. You can listen to Ipswich against Brighton over on our sister station Sports Extra. Mazraoui here plays up towards Højlund, but Aribo's in ahead of him, and Southampton are doing well in those little 50-50 battles in the central midfield areas at the moment. Tyler Dibbling fails to control on the right-hand side. Mazraoui not able to clear it away. This is De Ligt, edge of the Manchester United penalty area, and he just calms things down by rolling it back to Onana.
Yeah, talking about fast starts, sometimes it's about, you know, putting the ball in behind the opposition, making them chase back, playing in their half, sometimes making them kick it out, just getting that feeling of nervousness in the opposition intensity. What United continue to do is get into the back, try and play out, try and play through the lines, and it actually gives the opposition here a chance to set themselves up on the halfway line, press Manchester United. They've got to be so good to play through the lines.
Yeah, Manchester United trying to come through the press here. Ugarte had to be strong. Bruno Fernandes has fed Garnacho, edge of the penalty area, trying to take on James Bree, gets to the byline, and he gets a corner. First corner of the evening. Garnacho unable to deliver the cross, but he does get the set piece for his team.
Yeah, good from Garnacho. Just what you'd expect. Good ricochet, fell Manchester United's way, right on the halfway line, and Bruno Fernandes delivered the ball out to him quickly. Just one thought in his mind, just going 1v1 with the defender, dropping your shoulder, getting inside the penalty area, saying to James Bree, come on, if you're going to tackle me, you're going to have to bring me down or give me a corner.
Very Arsenal-esque. Manchester United players in a huddle at the back post from where the corner comes. They all spurt forward, punched away at the front post by Ramsdale, who collided with the frame of the goal, but he's big and sturdy and he's okay. Garnacho tries to get to the byline again on that left-hand side. Ugochukwu comes off his shin pad, and Tyler Dibbling will pick it up and dribbles out of defence with confidence. The 18-year-old a little bit too confident as he loses out to Bruno Fernandes there. 0-0, early stages at Old Trafford. Manchester United against Southampton here on this Thursday evening. This is Lisandro Martinez, back to Mazraoui, back on the halfway line again, and now De Ligt inside the centre circle. Two clubs looking for an upturn in form. Manchester United enduring what is still their worst start to a Premier League season, and no club has had a worst opening 20 games of any Premier League campaign that Southampton are enduring this time round. Yoro does well. Good interception ahead of Sulemana, and Manchester United looking composed in defence for now. This is Ahmad, right wing-back position. Long sleeves, the white boots, gives it in low to the feet of Manuel Ugarte, and then back through Yoro all the way back to the goalkeeper again.
Yeah, it was good defending that from Yoro. Sulemana realised that United had a really high line. He came short, spun. That was his intent, to just bring Yoro in and spin in behind him. And as Bednarek tried to play the pass, just didn't quite get enough depth on it. And Yoro looked over his shoulder, saw it, because actually Sulemana could comfortably have been in behind through 1v1 on goal.
Free kick to Manchester United on the far side. There's a foul on Garnacho. And we have played almost 5 minutes here now. Still Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. Manchester United starting a run of 3 home games in a row. Southampton here tonight. They host Brighton here on Sunday. And Rangers will come here in the Europa League next Thursday. Not too far in the distance, Manchester United will host Ruud van Nistelrooy in the FA Cup when Leicester come here in the 4th round. This is Yoro, well closed down by Sulemana, and Sulemana's managed to nutmeg. Yoro gets to the byline left-hand side. Good sliding recovery by Ahmad to regain possession, but Sulemana, that's the best we've seen in attack from Southampton so far. Manchester United trying to play it out from deep here. Ahmad nearly gives it away. Meno unable to hold on to it. Southampton have started with an up-tempo here, but Ugochukwu's touch for Kyle Walker-Peters is heavy, and that goes out for a throw into the home side, still 0-0.
Yeah, brilliant defending from Ahmad. One of the reasons he's in the team is the amount of work rate and covering he's prepared to do for his team. He's been outstanding at the top end of the pitch, but does brilliantly defensively as well. And again, though, I talk about when you start games and you invite the opposition onto United playing it across their own back at the edge of the penalty area between the 3 central defenders, and Yoro takes too long. Sulemana tackles him, and suddenly Southampton have spent the last 2 or 3 minutes trying to win the ball back on the edge of Manchester United's penalty area, just giving Southampton encouragement.
There is a nervous edge to the atmosphere to be expected with Manchester United having lost their last 3 home games in front of their own fans here. Manchester United, who did beat Southampton 3-0 when these sides met on the south coast earlier on in the campaign back in September. Throw in on the far side, taken by Garnacho to Mazraoui. Kobe Menu back to the heart of defence to De Ligt, and on his right shoulder is Lenny Yoro, who's played some part in Manchester United's last 8 Premier League games in a row now. It's just his 3rd start in the top flight. Højlund being very closely marked by the Polish international Jan Bednarek, and he gets a free kick for his team just inside the Manchester United half. 0-0.
Yeah, generous. Again, Manchester United probably 10-15 yards outside their own penalty area, overplaying the ball, trying to pass a slow one into a centre forward with pressure coming from behind him, and I think he bought that free kick really, Højlund, rather than anything else. But as yet there's been no thought of someone making a run in behind this Southampton defence, which is on the halfway line. Everybody continues to come to the ball for Manchester United.
It is 2 years since Southampton last won a Premier League away game. Aaron Ramsdale, wearing all bright orange side, pumps it along up over the halfway line as Sandro Martinez wins the header. Ball back down the deck though for Joe Aribo, and he'll give it out into space here near touchline to us. The left of Southampton come forward with Kyle Walker-Peters, then a touch from Sulemana back to Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Now Sulemana will come forward. Ugarte dispossesses him. Southampton want a free kick there, but they're not going to get it.
Well, they should have had one. I mean, if you're judging the free kick that Manchester United were just given, I think the one on Sulemana was more of a foul. He certainly reacted in that way. Manager Ivan Juric right. It was only about 10 yards from him. He was furious.
A lot of the play taking place inside the Manchester United half, and Southampton have just been awarded a free kick here. Foul on Mateus Fernandes. Mateus Fernandes, who played under Ruben Amorim at Sporting, so the Manchester United coach will know all about him. He's looked good in what we've seen of him in the Premier League so far. Still young, Mateus Fernandes, 20 years of age, but he's been fouled here in a position that's too wide an angle for a shot, you would imagine, but good, promising location to send it across. It was Lisandro Martinez who caught him there, just outside the Manchester United penalty area.
Yeah, it is a foul. Just tried to win the ball back, but again, United playing deep, trying to roll a slow one into the feet of an attacker, just probably still about 5 or 10 yards inside their own half. Southampton players just stepping in front, coming and winning them slow passes and taking Southampton forward. Again, there's no thought of any player thinking I'm going to run in behind and someone's going to play the ball over the top. Everybody just wants to come to feet and have lots of touches of the ball.
Here it comes, Mateus Fernandes, delivery with his right boot, met by the head of Lissandro Martinez. Southampton are going to remain on the attack here. Played by Sugawara. Out to the right-hand side, the Japanese international gets it back again. He is supported by Aribo. This is just outside the penalty area that Southampton attack. Right-hand side of the field as they come forward. They're playing right to left as we look down. Bednarek has it back inside the centre circle. He swings to the left-hand side to Kyle Walker-Peters. Kyle Walker-Peters tonight playing against Manchester United for the 8th time in his career. He's never been on the winning side against them. Good pressure from Garnacho. Forces the ball out of play on the far side of the pitch. So Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. We've not played 10 minutes here yet. They started ahead of us at Ipswich at Portman Road this evening. Ipswich against Brighton. Here's Aaron Paul.
5 to the break, Ipswich 0, Brighton 0. Ipswich starting to get into their groove and they're working everything down the left-hand side. Really interesting battle going on between Liam Delap and Jean-Paul Van Hecke. Van Hecke, though, retreating on one opportunity for Delap. Delap able to fire the right-footed shot in towards goal. Verbruggen with a smart save down to his left. Brighton with a corner now. Ipswich 0, Brighton 0.
And Aaron's got Matt Bloomfield, the new Luton Town manager, on his 72+ podcast available right now from BBC Sounds. Here at Old Trafford, 0-0 between Manchester United and bottom club Southampton. Both these teams inside the bottom 6. That's a good pass by Bednarek to Mateus Fernandes. Menu trying to keep up with him. It's a good pass to the right-hand side to Sugawara. Now he's got 4 yellow shirts in the middle here, but he doesn't send it into the penalty area. It's a low ball to Ugochukwu on loan from Chelsea. Back out to the right-hand side, Sugawara, patient build-up this, then a low delivery that's poor, straight at Ugarte. Manchester United get it back. Now, can they pounce? The Uruguayan held up in traffic in the midfield, and Manchester United turn and play it back to the goalkeeper. That's where Manchester United at their best transition quickly and spark a counter-attack, but not now.
Yeah, I'm so surprised about it. Again, United winning the ball, start of a counter-attack, and Højlund comes short, Garnacho comes short, and Ugarte has no other option than to turn and play it sideways. The whole game so far, we're only 11 and a half minutes in, it's all been played away to our left in that half, which United are defending. Southampton will be pleased with how they've started this game.
Headed by Bednarek, comfortably down for James Bree, who's now started 3 Premier League games in a row. Sugawara up to Mateus Fernandes. He lays it off on the outside of the boot to Aribo. Southampton come over the halfway line with Kyle Walker-Peters, pushes it down towards the corner flag. Sulemana stepping into the penalty area, taking on Yoro again. Good save on Ara. Shot was on target. Sugawara's following up, tries to play it in. Too many Manchester United players on the edge of the 6-yard box, and the home team get it away. But that is twice now that Sulemana has put Lenny Yoro under extreme pressure, and it was on target, his shot. Great save for the keeper.
Yeah, if I'm playing in a Southampton shirt tonight, I'm just trying to get Sulemana the ball as much as possible. He looks like he's going to love this battle against Lenny Yoro. Because he's got Ahmad on the outside of him, who isn't over-covering. Yes, he gets back when he sees it, but Sulemana's getting the opportunity just to run at Yoro. Great move from Southampton, switching the play, getting at Manchester United, who again don't seem to be able to get a grip of this game.
He is lightning fast, is Kamaldeen Sulemana. He played for Ghana at the World Cup in Qatar, and he was actually clocked as being the quickest player on the pitch in that World Cup tournament in 2022.
Yeah, and you see he fancies it. I mean, Yoro is quite quick himself, but drops the shoulder, gets down the outside, threatened on the outside on his first run, cut inside on this occasion, burst into the penalty area. The angle was against him as he tried to just pass it with the right foot, cutting in from the left into that far corner. Good save by Onana with that left hand, but at that angle you'd probably fancy the goalkeeper.
If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, most of the action is taking place away to our left-hand side, down the Stretford end of Old Trafford. That is the end that Andre Onana is defending. He's had to make one very good save there to deny Kamaldeen Sulemana. Manchester United, as an attacking force, have yet to get going in this game. There was one burst to the byline by Garnacho that's won a corner, but that's really been it, as again Ramsdale pumps it long. Yoro wins the header midway inside his own half. It'll be shielded by Big Joe Aribo, keeping it away from Bruno Fernandes, and then a good pass from Sulemana over to the right-hand side into Yukinari Sugawara. Back into the centre circle once again, Bednarek to Harwood Bellis. Well, if you came from the moon, landed here at Old Trafford, we're told one of these teams are bottom of the table, I don't think you'd immediately think it's Southampton, because they've had more possession these early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. And the team dictating the play. I mean, I partly blame Manchester United still. Southampton just got the ball at the back, passed it to the goalkeeper, there was no thought of anybody closing down. There was no thought of anybody in a United shirt trying to press and dictate the play. It was Southampton have got it, we're just going to drop back away, and Southampton are again just feeling encouraged by that. United got the ball at the back, Southampton have pressed them forward.
This is Ugachukwu trying to flick the ball on. Nicely controlled by Mateus Fernandes. Through to Suleiman again. They're taking Leon's advice, they're giving it to him as much as they possibly can. Walker-Peters now on the left wing, level with the edge of the penalty area, comes infield of Ahmad. Mateus Fernandes first time back out to Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Southampton growing in confidence, they're creeping higher and higher up the pitch, and you just wonder, might that create a counter-attacking opportunity for Manchester United, but we've not seen anything of the like of that so far, as Sugawara's challenge to the far side and the ball goes out of play for a Southampton throw. Still 0-0.
Yeah, if that's the case, they're doing it brilliantly, sucking Southampton forward and create space. But at the moment, Southampton are the team that starts to create chances.
Here's Mateus Fernandes, he's been allowed run into the penalty area, he shoots on target, but it lacked power. It's a great run. He started that near the centre circle, he got all the way into the penalty area, but couldn't get the velocity on the shot in the end.
We were warned about Mateus Fernandes before the start of this game, and what a player he is. Well, he's showing it at the minute. He's getting in some really good pockets of spaces, just dropping in between. And there's a triangle of De Ligt, Ugarte and Mainu. He's just dropping into those spaces, picking the ball up, driving forward. On that occasion, he was looking for Sulemana, and the run wasn't there. He decided to take the shot on himself and was very unfortunate.
Now Kobe Maynard trying to play through the lines, picks out Rasmus Højlund. Benrek slid in and didn't get the ball. This is Højlund wide in the right wing for Manchester United. He's got 4 red shirts in field of him. He gives a pass backwards to Ugarte. Ugarte gives it to Ahmad on the right wing. He's now into the penalty area. Garnacho trying to tee it up. Bruno Fernandes shoots, and it took a deflection on the way through. It's another Manchester United corner, this time on the right-hand side.
And that's how simple it can be. Just somebody making a run in behind. Højlund just decided, rather than come short for once in this game, I'm going to spin, I'm going to run in behind, I'm going to run the channel. And Mainu's delighted by that as a midfielder, somebody to make a run. I can play a forward pass. He just slides it down the side to about the corner of the penalty area, and they have some build-up after that, get a shot that deflects for a corner, but much better from Manchester United.
So Ahmad is going to take it. It's in the corner of the stadium, which is right by where the Southampton fans are located. Manchester United have piled numbers into the 6-yard box. Ramsdale bouncing up with his hands in the air, knows that he's going to be impeded as this comes in. Mainu goes in to try and step on his toes, and Ahmad is patient. Here he comes, left-footed delivery, in swinging in on top of the goalkeeper. Sandro Martinez was close to it, couldn't get the firm touch, and it's cleared away by Tyler Dibley.
It was a really good header from Harwood-Bellis. He seemed to get himself in a really bad position, and he went inside, and he headed it with the back of his head with real force to sort of head it away out of that 6-yard box. As a lot of United players were coming in to pressurise him and the goalkeeper. Really good header.
Manchester United and Southampton pretty much midway between them in the table are Ipswich Town. They've reached half-time at Portman Road this evening, hosting Brighton. Here's Aaron Paul.
Yeah, Ipswich 0, Brighton 0, goalless here, but the home side have grown in confidence through the half and had the better of the chances. Broadhead, Delap, Hutchinson, all forcing good saves out of Bart Verbruggen. Simon Adingra has looked bright for Brighton, but has faded as the half has gone on. Don't forget, a win here takes Ipswich 16th. Ipswich 0, Brighton 0 at the break.
Thanks very much. There's a game in League One this evening. Shrewsbury hosting Wrexham. Here's Adam Cottier.
Shrewsbury lead Wrexham by 1-0. John Marquis, the striker, taking over after some poor defending by Wrexham and sending in a right foot blistering shot into the net. Shrewsbury 1, Wrexham 0.
Thanks very much, Adam. Here at Old Trafford, free kick to Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes getting ready to take it on the far side. Here it comes, right-footed, short to Garnacho, shoots from outside the penalty area, strikes the head of Mateus Fernandes, who goes down, head injury. The referee will hold up play here as the ball trickles out anyway for a throw, but it's a shot came in, appeared to hit him flush on the face, powerfully from Garnacho. Mateus Fernandes sort of awkwardly fell on the deck. You expect him to get up straight away, and he is slowly getting back to his feet.
The referee didn't just bring on the physio from the side of the pitch. He went up, he spoke to him. I think he was quite comfortable in the fact it just hit the top of his head and he'd be okay. Went to ground, but Manchester United had the opportunity for a really good angle to put that ball into the penalty, and he went short, and the touch from Garnacho just wasn't good enough to be able to get that touch under no real pressure and get a shot on target.
Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. We have reached the 19th minute. By this stage, in the last home league game here, Manchester United were already 2-0 down against Newcastle. Here is Bruno Fernandes from the halfway line, sending it down the left wing. Great acceleration by Rasmus Højlund. He's got in around the back of Bednarak. He tees up Garnacho. How did he not score? The goal gaped in front of him, at his mercy. Alejandro Garnacho side foots it wide when it quite literally looked easier to make it 1-0.
Oh, it has to be a goal. Brilliant play again from Rasmus Højlund, just coming short, dropping his shoulder. So simple, spinning in behind, and he's got the pace of all three of those Southampton defenders. He's beaten them all ends up. He gets down the channel. Good strength to hold up Bednarak as well. And then he just cuts it back into the path of Garnacho. Howard Bellis is trying his best just to be big and cut the angle down. I think he actually does affect Garnacho and the sight in what he does, but Garnacho probably 7 or 8 yards out on line with a far post. Really poor finish, just side foots it past the far post.
Manchester United can't believe they didn't score there. Rasmus Højlund came over and kicked the post in frustration. Garnacho shot wide. Garnacho, who is Manchester United's top scorer in all competitions this season, but he's yet to score the Premier League since Amarim's arrival. Ahmad here with a good challenge on Kyle Walker-Peters, but Manchester United unable to hold on to the ball. They'll win it again in the defensive area. Walker-Peters fouls Ahmad. Free kick to the home side, right full-back position for them. But Alejandro Garnacho, whose name has been in the headlines recently, even talk of him leaving Manchester United as early as this month, scored against Southampton when these teams met in September, but he hasn't scored in the Premier League since the game against Leicester, which was early November. He's in the starting 11 tonight. He has had, hands down, the best opportunity of this game so far, but Alejandro Garnacho put it wide. Free kick taken by Andre Onana, the Manchester United goalkeeper. One in the air by Jan Bednarek, who was jumping with Rasmus Højlund to hit the deck after that collision. Aribo takes it down. Opponents around him. Taylor Howard-Bellis tries to flick it away, but he's not been able to get it very far. Back to Ahmad, right wing for Manchester United, stepping into the penalty area. Kyle Walker-Peters has got to be careful. Ahmad swings it in low, sits up for Kobbie Mainoo. He can't get the shot away. Mazraoui into Garnacho. It's all too congested. There's a line of bodies, most of them wearing Southampton yellow, as the ball, I think, bounces up onto someone's arm. And that's a free kick to Southampton just on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, that's good play from Manchester United, getting bodies forward. No surprise, Ahmad. When he picks the ball up, the stadium seems to get excited. They're all pleading with him just to drop his shoulder, go and run at his marker 1v1. It's Walker-Peters, who's certainly no slouch for pace, and on this occasion just pretends to come inside, drops his shoulder, goes on the outside, flashes it across, and that could have gone anywhere, but Southampton defend it well. But they're starting to build up a bit of momentum now. Manchester United, Garnacho and Fernandes have just swapped sides either side of Højlund, just to give Southampton something to think about, and it's working well for them.
Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. Back to Shrewsbury again. Shrewsbury-Wrexham. Here's Adam Cottier.
Wrexham have equalised. Stephen Fletcher, the veteran striker, with a fine header, close in, high cross from the right-hand side, and Fletcher scores again for Wrexham. It's 1-1.
Well, Southampton with just one league win all season. They beat Everton in November. But Ivan Juric will be pleased with what he's seen so far. They've had one big chance, Sulemana's shot saved. How Southampton would love to take the lead here ahead of half-time. We're midway through the first half at Old Trafford. It's a nice evening for football. There is a little bit of a nip in the air, but nothing like the cold temperatures we had last week. As Bruno Fernandes has it 10 yards outside the area, plays a good ball in front of Kobbie Mainoo. He tried to pull it back for Garnacho, but Taylor Howard-Bellis was there to clear away. Manchester United beginning to make chances. Ahmad shoots from a mile out and shoots a mile wide as it goes into the crowd.
Yeah, not the best effort from Ahmad in the end, but it was a good bit of play before that. Just a run from deep from Kobbie Mainoo. Whenever Bruno Fernandes gets on the ball, players should be making runs. That should be a given at Manchester United, because he can find you. And there's a run from deep from Mainoo. Bruno Fernandes probably 10 yards outside the penalty area corner, and he just passes it on the angle towards the corner of the 6-yard box. Mainoo's run is unnoticed by that Southampton defence. Keeper comes out, he had an opportunity to go for goal, tried to cut it back, but found a Southampton defender.
Mainoo again in the midfield, tries to play a 1-2 with Ugarte, but it breaks down. There's a little flick by Sulemana, on by Mateusz Fernandes. He tried to play in Tyler Dibbling, but Lisandro Martinez was closer to the ball as it entered the penalty area, and Manchester United able to clear away. Rasmus Højlund wins a chest on, but he can't pick out a teammate with it, and Southampton regained possession once again. And much higher percentage of Southampton's passes have been inside Manchester United territory rather than the other way round. As the ball is passed by Leslie Ugochukwu, Lisandro Martinez plays it forward. Now Garnacho, 2-on-2 if he's quick enough here. He's got Højlund ahead of him. Garnacho weaves away from Helmut Bellis, tries to shoot in low. Has he taken too long? Second bite of the cherry, blocked again. The ball is still inside the Southampton penalty area. It may even have ricocheted against the arm of Kyle Walker-Peters. VAR will have a look at this. It's gone out for what's been indicated for a corner kick, but the officials might well be considering whether there was a handball here by Kyle Walker-Peters inside the penalty area.
Well, I think it hit his arm as the ball was spinning up. Great run from Garnacho, picked the ball up in a great position, had Rasmus Højlund making runs, dropping his shoulder, twisting and turning, used Højlund's run to create half a yard for the shot. Southampton ended up blocking it, and as it ricochets up, and Walker-Peters tried to go shoulder to shoulder with Ahmad, and as they did, the ball bounced in between them and just landed on his arm as there was a nudge from Ahmad. I don't think they're going to give a penalty kick there, because it was the nudge from Ahmad that led to the ball hitting his arm, but he's running the risk there.
More of that in a moment. Here comes the corner from Ahmad, higher, deeper, in swinging, goalkeeper punches it away. Ramsdale fell backwards, but the ball is cleared away, and it is Tyler Dibbling on the far side. So we've just seen the replay of the handball incident. It does touch his fingers and then sort of onto his upper arm, but it's the nudge from the opponent that I'm sure will have played a factor in the deliberations of the officials, and they agree in the VAR booth with the on-field referee's call here, and no penalty awarded. Southampton come down the other end. Kyle Walker-Peters back to Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Played with Manchester City connections in the past, never too popular on this side of town. Ugochukwu onto Yukinari Sugawara on the right-hand side. Chance to cross it in here, but despite the attempts of Tyler Dibbling to control, Manchester United got to win it back. Bruno Fernandes, well, that was a high-risk return by Garnacho. They're going to lose it. That wasn't smart from Garnacho. Southampton get it back again. Harwood-Bellis, midway inside Manchester United territory, gives it to the left-hand side to Kyle Walker-Peters. Suleiman wants to play a 1-2 here. He's got in around the back. Over comes Ugarte to keep tabs on him. Ugarte is strong, and he manages to win the ball and keep his balance and holds off the energetic Suleimana as Manchester United's clearance is really poor. Lenny Yoro giving it to Ugochukwu just on the edge of the penalty area. Groans again as Manchester United win it back, but very immediately give it away again, and they're not able to launch the counter-attacks that the Old Trafford crowd crave. Here's Tyler Dibbling into the penalty area for Southampton, shoots and it's saved, following up Matheus Fernandes, brilliant second save. Andre Onana with a double stop, and the second one was world class.
Oh, it's one of the best double saves you'll see. This is outstanding play from Tyler Dibbling. What he's able to do, the way he twists and turns and runs at defenders is quite incredible. It really is a throwback to a player of old that can move with the ball the way he does. Socks down, the style is graceful, and he just beat about 4 United players, got inside. His first shot was saved. Let's come back to that.
Southampton having a good spell. Sugawara into the penalty area, right-hand side. Tyler Dibbling always miscued. It ends up being an assist for Aribo, but his shot doesn't have the power and it's blocked away. Southampton having a really good spell here. This is Harwood-Bellis, midway inside Manchester United territory. Gives it short to Joe Aribo. Andre Onana, who certainly comes in for some scrutiny and criticism at times, but you've got to say he makes some big saves on occasion, and he's made a brilliant double stop here in this first half at Old Trafford, where it's still Manchester United 0, Southampton 0. Kobe Mainoo in the midfield. Southampton want a free kick and they're not going to get it. Suleimana back to his feet. Manchester United have it with Bruno Fernandes inside the centre circle. Back to Kobe Mainoo, back to Lisandro Martinez.
Oh, where to start? I think one of the most incredible things is I think there needs to be a manager camp on Ivan Juric. He is so animated. He's not stopped for the whole of this first 28 minutes. He's up, he's down, he's jumping, he's trying to have a go at the referee, the assistant, the linesman. He's calling his subs. He just doesn't know what to do with himself. But he's been so excited because of what his team have just nearly accomplished in the last 3 or 4 minutes. They should be ahead. That should be the first goal of the game. The first save from Onana was good, solid save away to his right-hand side as Dibbling used his left foot to try and pass it into the far post. But it ricocheted up, and Mateus Fernandes took a touch with his chest on the edge of the 6-yard box and blasted it towards goal. And Onana just jumped up and spread himself as much as he could and made an incredible second save with his right arm as well.
29 minutes on the clock, 0-0. The body language of Ivan Juric suggests that he believes his team can get something from here. They've had 3 Premier League defeats since his appointment, but given the patchy form of Ruben Amorim's team, given the fact that Southampton scored 3 in the FA Cup and kept a clean sheet at the weekend, Ivan Juric, the way this game has started, has every right to believe Southampton could get something, maybe something significant. This is Uribe. Oh, he done well against Ugarte there, then he stumbled a little bit. Ugarte tried to recover. Good work from Uribe to keep it moving. Mateus Fernandes running at the penalty area now. Little change of direction was good. Taken off in by Tyler Dibbling, who shoots and he couldn't keep it down. It's into the Manchester United fans behind the goal, but Southampton keep coming at the home side here, 0-0.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about Sulemana, we're talking about, again, Dibbling, and Uribe's playing well, but the man pulling all the strings is Mateus Fernandes. He's playing in some wonderful pockets. His touch has been immaculate. His passing range, his knowledge of what's about him has been absolutely brilliant. We're just seeing that replay back of the first save from Onana. Wasn't too far away from him with the right, but he got up quickly, and it was actually his chest. I mean, it was a great double save. The players will probably be disappointed they only found his chest with the second effort. Didn't actually make him stretch himself, but still the speed to get up, be in the right position, make what is a crucial double save for Manchester United, because I'm not sure they can afford to go behind in this game, the way the stadium and the crowd feels.
Yes, there's already a mood around Old Trafford. Having done so well against Liverpool and Arsenal, there had been a hope amongst Manchester United fans that Southampton could be blown away tonight. That is not the way this is turning out at all. Manchester United have yet to have a shot on target. Southampton have had 4 shots on target.
Yeah, I think Southampton's play in the game has been better. They played in Manchester United's half. United's efforts have come in a couple of bunches on the, not quite on the counter-attack, but, you know, and they've eventually got up the pitch. The majority has been Southampton pushing and trying to find spaces and allowing their players to go and play football. Again, I come back to United have been their own worst enemy, rolling slow passes into the midfield, allowing Southampton to just come in and take the ball.
Just watching Tyler Dibbling there running to put pressure on Lisandro Martinez. You mentioned, Leon, he's sort of throwback. There's something old-fashioned about him. He's got the socks low. He's got the same lumbering run as Chris Waddle used to have.
Yeah,
he
that's where I was
kind of a
going,
little swagger to his run, sort of, doesn't he?
He seems to dribble it in the same incredible way that Chris Waddle was able to. His style is quite similar.
Well, that is high praise indeed, but Tyler Dibbling would appear to be worthy of it. Southampton seem to have got themselves something special. And remember, he's still only 18 years of age. Southampton of possession. Jan Bednarek at the back. He played in the infamous 9-0 game back in 2021 between these two teams. He had a dreadful night, Bednarek, that night. What did he do? He scored an own goal, he gave away a penalty, and he was sent off. He was the first player to do all 3 of those things in a Premier League game, and the team lose 9-0.
Quite the record. We thought Clark had done that, didn't we? Did he get that took off him for was it Ipswich in this season?
Yeah. Yes, Jan Bednarek very pleased to share that, let's call it accolade, with somebody else.
Sure he does. That just gets everyone remembering that it happened to him.
Bednarek, who scored a goal at the right end against Manchester United 4 seasons ago. He's been solid at the back so far tonight. Southampton get it back once again. And they will come from deep. Uribe pushing it in front of Taylor Howard-Bellis. Back to Joe Uribe, bang on the halfway line. Southampton playing from right to left as we look down. They've had the better chances. Howard-Bellis, Garnacho coming close to him. Back to Uribe. Southampton dictating the pace of the game at the moment. 12 minutes to go until the break. Ugo Chukwu, back to Jan Bednarek. Hoyland has pushed up, Garnacho has pushed up. And then Sulemana assaulted dummy, and he's in around the back of Lenny Yoro again. He is making mincemeat of Lenny Yoro. Sulemana into the penalty area. Can he finish? Right-footed shot! Oh, it's just wide. That would have been an outstanding goal. He started that 10 yards inside his own half. Sulemana's the man to watch here.
I mean, yeah, he dropped the shoulder on Yoro and ran in behind brilliantly, and De Ligt had the opportunity to come over, but he's panicking going anywhere near Sulemana with the pace that he had, he couldn't get away from him quick enough. He allowed him to run forward. He waited for a bit of support to come over, and actually he could have gone down. You know, a tackle came in from Sandro Martinez as he came over to try and cover. There was a touch. If he'd have gone down, that would have been a penalty kick, but he tried to stay on his feet, tried to wrap his foot around it, didn't wrap it round enough, and it missed the upright.
It didn't miss it by much. They are getting closer and closer, Southampton. These are warning signs for Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. Still 0-0 for now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you've seen Manchester United played off the park here by other teams. You know, Newcastle is the latest one that springs to mind, and you know, Southampton have gone about it the same way. It just looks like physically Southampton have got more than Manchester United. They just don't seem to be covering the ground as well as Southampton are at the moment. And yeah, they've certainly got a bit of quality to show as well. This doesn't look like a Southampton team. Oh, sorry, Southampton don't look like a team that have only got 6 points this season, and they're at bottom of the Premier League. It looks far from that.
Yeah, absolutely, they are exuding a confidence. And mind you, if Southampton were to concede, that might dissipate very quickly, but for the moment, you'd have to say the visitors are on top. Can Manchester United swing the pendulum in their direction? Højlund attacking the penalty area, left-hand side, gives it back to Bruno Fernandes. He fancies a shot, but it bounces kindly up into the chest of Aaron Ramsdale, and that is a comfortable save. It will count, though, as Manchester United's first attempt on target of the game.
Yeah, another run in behind from Rasmus Højlund. Didn't really find himself central. He ended up really wide, but it just stretched Southampton, gave United the room to then get up behind it. And I don't think United are too upset with seeing Bruno Fernandes have shots from probably 20 yards out on the angle. A bit of pressure on him and just made it so he didn't hit it. I'd expect him to.
Here come Manchester United again. Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes just on the edge of the penalty area. Gives it wide to Ahmad. Back in field to Bruno Fernandes once again. He's just outside the box now. Back to Lenny Yoro. And here is De Ligt inside the centre circle. Southampton pushing out a little bit, but not too far. They don't want to give gaps for Manchester United to run into. De Ligt on the halfway line to Ahmad in the right wing-back position. Lenny Yoro, who's been petrified by the pace of Kamaldeen Sulemana. 3 times at least in the game he's gone past him one-on-one. This is Bruno Fernandes.
On the first 2 occasions, he just stayed off him a yard or two, and that gave Sulemana the encouragement to get on the ball and start to put him on the back foot. And on that last occasion, he tried to go really tight. Sulemana just felt him coming and just left it spun in behind. It's actually, yeah, it doesn't look great defending from Yoro, but it's brilliant attacking play from Sulemana.
Here come Manchester United, 0-0 at Old Trafford. Garnacho on the right wing, gives it back to Ahmad. There's a line of red shirts in the middle. Mazraoui's come forward on the far side. Højlund's in there. Kobe Mainoo's come forward. This is Bruno Fernandes, just outside the tee. Onto his left boot. He sort of clattered in a shot, but it came off the shins of an opponent. Sits up here for Lisandro Martinez, who scored against Liverpool recently, but that cross is overcooked. And running out to the corner flag, Ahmad will just about keep the ball in play. Ahmad dribbling back into the penalty area. Cuts it back. Is it going to sit up for Ugarte? No, taken away by Sugawara. Sulemana now will try and hold on to it, but he's had his shirt pulled by Lenny Yoro, who wasn't going to allow him giving the slip there. A free kick to Southampton just outside their own penalty area.
Yoro wasn't allowing him to go anywhere then. Good chunk of his shirt. I'm going to try and win the ball back, but if I don't, you're not going anywhere. But good again from Manchester United, giving Ahmad the ball, and they'll be happy if Southampton leave Ahmad 1v1 with Walker-Peters, because yes, Walker-Peters can be a good defender, but he backed off and backed off. He allowed Ahmad to get near to the 6-yard line on the angle before he pulled the cross back in. That could have gone anywhere again, that ricochet.
Well, tonight's the first time I've seen Ivan Juric in the flesh on the sideline for Southampton. He's quite the entertaining watch. I've just seen him, this is tickling me, Leon. I've just seen him sort of display to the team, you know, be calm, just breathe. And you've never seen someone look less calm while telling people to be calm. He's a cat on a hot tin roof.
Yeah, well, I was watching him before the game, and he was walking around on the pitch during the warm-up. He was intense, then he went down the tunnel, then he was on the TV just pacing up and down the tunnel. He does seem like he can't keep still, and if you get to see him on the touchline, you won't be disappointed.
Southampton get it back. You'll hear the groans in the background. Manchester United fans growing increasingly frustrated that their team are finding it hard to connect here tonight. Mateus Fernandes collects possession inside Manchester United territory. Sugawara plays it back into his own half. This is Ugo Chukwu. And with Kobe Mainoo running towards him, he'll turn and roll it back to Aaron Ramsdale. The clock ticking on towards half-time, and we've got 6 minutes to go until the break here on 5 Live. De Ligt up against Dibbling. And the experienced Dutchman gets the better of young Tyler Dibbling. Manchester United hold on to possession. Lenny Yoro plays it up to Garnacho, still midway inside his own half. Passes infield to Kobe Mainoo. In close attendance is Leslie Ukachukwu. So Manchester United have to retreat to the edge of their penalty area once again. They'll try to come out on the left-hand side here with Mazraoui. Mazraoui right-footed, comes infield, and Sugawara is aware of his discomfort there. Almost won the ball off him. Through ball eventually played by Manchester United, but there's no one on the end of it, and those Old Trafford groans are audible once again.
Well, there should be. I mean, if the opposition team are playing such a high line, it should be what happened. The ball went up to Rasmus Højlund's feet, he laid it up, it went back to Mazraoui, and he just played a pass through into the space, and Garnacho came short for another short pass. At that point, it goes forward, it comes back, and then there has to be a third man run from somebody. I mean, one of the best teams I've seen doing that this season has been Nottingham Forest, when they have Elanga and Hudson-Odoi either side of Chris Wood. It goes up, it comes back, and they make some great inward runs. If United were doing that tonight, they'd be in behind this Southampton defence easy. Still
no goals in the Ipswich-Brighton game. Ipswich, who could go 3 points clear of the bottom three with the win over Brighton. In fact, mentioning events at Portman Road, let's get the details of what's been happening. Here is Aaron Paul.
Ipswich 0, Brighton 0. Very electric, energetic start to the second half here, and a big chance for Brighton and Hove Albion. Dara O'Shea just feeding the ball back to his goalkeeper, Christian Walton, selling the goalkeeper a little bit short. Walton having to sprint away from his line, get the ball upfield, but clattering into him was João Pedro. Pedro taking the goalkeeper out. Both went to ground. Brighton fans looking for a penalty, and Ipswich fans looking for a red card. A yellow issued to João Pedro, the Brighton number 9. It remains 0-0.
Thanks very much, Aaron. Southampton on the attack here at Old Trafford. Kyle Walker-Peters cutting in off the left wing. Bit of space here for Mateus Fernandes. He plays it in, swinging across. De Ligt is headed straight up into the air. Gets a second nibble at it, De Ligt. Only to Aribo. Aribo digs it forward for Sulemana. That was clever. And then sliding across, De Ligt puts it out for a corner. Corner to Southampton on the left-hand side. And the team at the bottom of the Premier League still look dangerous every time they come forward.
Yeah, that was De Ligt on the stretch twice. Actually, United need him to be first with the cross that came in, full stretch, every inch his neck could give him to stop that ball going over his head, and to Dibbling, who was coming in behind him, maybe Sugawara, but he doesn't manage to clear it fully, and the ball came to Aribo on the edge of the penalty. He took a touch, it looked like he was going to shoot, he just flicked it through into the space for Sugawara again, and De Ligt had to react so quickly to make sure he kept that out for a corner.
It is Southampton's first corner of the evening. Now, Manchester United have had problems defending these, but Southampton are the only Premier League team yet to score from a corner this season. It's played in, it's flicked to the front post, and Nana makes the save again, it's in! Southampton bundle it into the back of the net! They score from a corner kick for the first time this campaign! And on the verge of half-time, Old Trafford feels that sinking feeling once again. It might be an own goal, you know. It's ricocheted like a pinball inside the 6-yard box. They run to celebrate with the corner kick taker, Mateus Fernandes. And Southampton will believe that they deserve this. Onana, despite heroics in this first half, has been beaten. It's Manchester United 0, Southampton 1.
Well, they do deserve it. I'm not quite sure until I see the replay who it eventually went in off, but I'm not sure a Southampton player touched this at all after it was kicked into the middle. It was whipped in, there was a flick on at the front post. I didn't know if it was from Martinez. It might actually be Dibbling, might just get in front of Sandro Martinez at the front post. He does, and it just flicks into an area full of bodies. It goes to Ugarte, is who it comes off. And you know what, I think it's hard when the ball comes at you so quickly, but he just seems to turn his back on it rather than trying to get something behind it. Once it does that, it hits his back. There's only one direction it can go in, and that's towards the Manchester United goal. Keeper can do nothing, he can't react quickly enough, and albeit scrappy, albeit not a Southampton player to get the goal, it's a deserved lead in this end of this first half.
Own goal by Manuel Ugarte. Manchester United can't say they weren't warned here. Southampton have been knocking on that door for some time, and the pressure is told, and those problems defending corners resume for Manchester United. That is now 10 Premier League goals conceded from corners this season as they give it away again. Outside the box, Aribo shuffled away, shot comes in, Tyler Dibbling saved by Onana once more. Manchester United are hanging on here, to not go further behind.
Wow, I mean, causing their own problems again. Players coming short. I mean, I don't know how many times I'm seeing the same things, that United win the ball back. The first thought is to pass it to a guy who's coming short. Southampton players are just saying, great, the ball's in front of us, you take a touch, I'll just use my strength. It was Garnacho on that occasion, wrestle you off the ball, and we're attacking again. And it ended up with a dribbling effort from just inside the D, very central. After a good work by Rebo, it went straight at the goalkeeper. That was what made it an easier save. But again, Southampton pushing.
Southampton fans going crazy away to our right. This is such an unusual feeling for them. It's only the 6th time this season that Southampton have scored the opening goal in any Premier League game. Those fans will be aware that only once have they actually held on to win the match. But I think huge credit has got to go to Ivan Juric here. He's come into a team that was so low in confidence, and he's got them playing like this, and Manchester United can't cope at the moment. But here comes Rasmus Højlund. First United attack since going behind. Ahmad into the penalty area, tries to weave, might have taken a tumble there. Harvard Bellis caught him. Play on, says the referee. Bruno Fernandes tries to shoot in low, and it's blocked away by Ugo Chukwu, and Manchester United hold on to it. Bruno Fernandes has been able to recapture possession, gives it back to Manuel Ugarte, scorer of the own goal down the other end. Ahmad doesn't fancy floating into the box. Back to Ugarte again. Southampton have been organised in defence, and Manchester United have been pushed back here. Goal at Portman Road. Ipswich Brighton. Aaron Paul.
Ipswich 0, Brighton 1. Really good move down the right by the visiting side. Matt O'Reilly played into space, looked up, just squared the ball for Karen Matoma, who stroked it into the back of the net. Christian Walton with a hand to it, not strong enough. Ipswich 0, Brighton 1.
Noise here because Southampton wanted a free kick. The referee says play on. Ahmad attacking down the right hand side, steps into the penalty area. That's a dive. He slides to the ground. He was looking for a penalty. I'd book him for this, and that's what's going to happen. The referee John Brooks comes across and shows the yellow card. You know, fair enough when there's contact and you simulate it, but that's a dive.
I think he's actually shown it to Mateus Fernandes, who was actually simulating yellow card for the dive, and I think that's why he's ended up. You must watch him. I think that's what he's given the yellow card for.
Well spotted.
It was a dive, though. It was a really poor dive, actually, from Ahmad. He tried to jump across and take the foul. It probably should have been a booking, but actually the referee gave it.
No, the television graphics are saying Ahmad, but I think you're right. I think that is a yellow card for requesting the yellow card, for waving the imaginary card by Mateus Fernandes.
Yeah, they're really trying to cut down on that at the minute, the referees, to try and make sure that doesn't happen. But you know, there was a touch earlier. Ahmad had the ball about a minute so before. He could have gone to ground. There was a touch, but on that occasion there certainly wasn't.
There's the whistle for the break. Boos audible at Old Trafford, where it is a return to old ways, and those recent performances at Anfield and at the Emirates have not been carried through into a hard-working Premier League performance here. Bruno Fernandes is continuing the complaints with referee John Brooks on the pitch. Ruben Amorim looks ashen-faced as he walks down towards the corner and the tunnel. Striding alongside him, Ivan Juric, who almost significantly and symbolically overtakes Amorim on the way down. He can't wait to get in and talk to his players at half-time. Ugarte scoring the own goal, and Onana, all those great saves he made, he still goes in at the break behind. Some game this, some performance from Southampton, and we still have half of it to go, Leon.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton deserve to be ahead at this stage in the game. I mean, it could have been more conceivably. Yes, United have had a really good chance for Garnacho, but the majority of the pressure, the majority of the play, the majority of everything really has been forced by Southampton. I'm not quite sure what Bruno Fernandes and De Ligt were complaining to the referee about at the end. I'm not sure he gave a really bad decision at all in the game. It was Manchester United who just haven't competed. You can't blame the referee for that. You can only blame yourselves, and you know, there'll be a serious words going on in that dressing room at half-time to how we respond to that, because it is only one goal, and we've seen Southampton, as you mentioned, only moments before, haven't managed to keep a lead like that, or they've conceded so many times. So it is there for United in the send-off, but they need to respond.
Southampton, who have scored the fewest league goals this season, not just of any Premier League team, but of any team in the top 4 tiers of English football. They have scored here at Old Trafford, and it's going to be fascinating to see if they can hold on to and maybe even build on this lead in the second period. Ruben Amorim has his work cut out here. Manchester United misfiring. It's Manchester United 0, Southampton 1.
Breathless first half at Old Trafford. René Meulenstein, former Manchester United assistant manager, watching with us in the studio. I mean, we'll talk about United in a second, but first of all, I mean, Southampton don't look like a team at the bottom of the table on that showing.
Absolutely not, Ali, and all credit to the manager and the way that they've performed. They've been brave, they've been on the front foot, they pressed Manchester United, they made him go long. And they played. You know, they were very brave to play. If you look at the chances, we could have sat here, maybe Southampton 3 and maybe Manchester United 1. So they deserve the lead, definitely.
Well, Leon, we were talking about the double save from Onana. Actually, from watching it back on the replay here, I don't know if you agree with René, but you think, René, that actually Fernandes should definitely have scored.
Yeah, 100%. I thought it was more a bad finish than a good save. Onana did what he had to do. He had to just get up and make himself big. But if Fernandes would have just had that split second of just really just waiting, just slotted in on the side of Onana, it would have been 100% goal. He just hit it because I think he got a nosebleed, and obviously Onana was big and tall, and he hit him.
Yeah, when you see things so quickly, obviously it just seemed like, what a double save, what a reaction to get up and make that save. But yeah, as soon as you see the replay, I mean, Onana makes the second save with his chest, which tells you from 4 or 5 yards away from him, centre of the goal, you can't be hitting the goalkeeper's chest from there. Not when you've actually took the ball down on your own chest, Fernandes, and you've actually had the chance and opportunity to pick either side, pick a spot. So yeah, that was a really bad miss that should have put Southampton, had another goal on the table. But Fernandes himself has been really good in that first half. He really has pulled the strings for Southampton, with Suleiman and Diblin being very good either side of him.
First shot on target for United after 36 minutes, René. And we said beforehand, didn't we, that Ruben Amorim came out and said, I will know more about my team after this game. What do you think he knows after the first 45 minutes of this game?
Well, and it doesn't make good reading, to be fairly honest, because it shows that United can't make the play. They can't dictate the play. And we've seen it before with Nottingham Forest, with Bournemouth, with Newcastle coming. All have the same thing. Be brave, press them, but be brave to play. And that you find the gaps and you can play through United, and Southampton is exactly doing that.
More from René, more from Leon, more from Connor in the second half from Old Trafford. One other Premier League game this evening, Ipswich against Brighton. Aaron Paul into the second half.
Ipswich 0, Brighton 1. Brighton played in down the right-hand side, trying to get a shot away is Yakumba Minta, but he can't quite get any purchase on it. Here come Brighton again. In towards Wijnaldum, Crescentius. I'll tell you what, I can't believe I've got that wrong. Jorginho Ruta. It's called exhaustion, Ellie. Back to Jean-Paul Van Hecker. And this Ipswich crowd, they're getting very, very tense indeed, because Ipswich can't quite get the ball out of their own box. Forget their own half. They're making silly passes. Wes Burns in his own box under pressure from 3 or 4 Brighton players. And just deciding to go square and back towards his goalkeeper. Very, very concerning. Kieran McKenna has his hands in his chin. He's just holding on to his chin, wondering where to go next with the substitution. They're playing this 5 at the back. How does he get his team further up the pitch? Brighton still leading through that goal, and I was very, very unfair on goalkeeper Christian Walton. That strike from Kara Matoma took a wicked deflection. It looked off Leif Davis, who was running across the face of goal as the goalkeeper dived down to it. I did say that Walton got a palm to it, but it seemed as though it took an alternate deflection and nestled into the back of the net. Brighton on the hunt for their first win in 8 Premier League outings. Ipswich, well, a win here could take them out and above Everton into 16th. Ipswich 0, Brighton 1. Plenty of work for the home side to do.
Absolutely, and commentary continues right now on 5 Live Sports Extra. We will have second half commentary of Manchester United against Southampton here on 5 Live Sport. Let's get latest from Shrewsbury against Wrexham. Half-time there as well, Adam Cottier.
Wrexham need to win this game to go top of League One tonight. They're not doing it. 1-1 at half-time. Shrewsbury 8 points from safety at the start of the night. Took the lead here when John Marquis picked up a loose ball, drove forward and fizzed in a brilliant right foot shot into the near post area of the Wrexham goal. But the lead lasted just 6 minutes. Stephen Fletcher scoring his 5th goal in his last 7 games. He's 38 in March. He sent in a towering header after a fine cross from Ryan Barnett from the right-hand side. So evenly poised, Shrewsbury 1, Wrexham 1.
You might have heard a little ooh from René Meulenstein. Do you want to tell us why?
Well, just Brighton was very close to going 2-0 up. It was a great turn and a great shot, but equally such a fantastic finish from save from the goalkeeper from Ipswich. So still 1-0.
Yep, we'll hear more from Aaron as they head towards full-time in that game at Portman Road. And second half commentaries is said to come from Old Trafford as well. But let's get the news. It's just coming up to 9:05 with Laura Harms.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Home Secretary has set out plans to tackle child grooming gangs. Yvette Cooper has asked Baroness Louise Casey to carry out a 3-month national audit into the problem. There's also a plan for a series of local inquiries following the scandals in places such as Rotherham, Oldham and Telford. The Safeguarding Minister is Jess Phillips.
What the Home Secretary has announced today is a process like what happened in Telford of victim-led independent inquiries, and actually the sense of relief of what I was talking to them about, of most of the victims I've been with today, was very clear.
A teenager has been convicted of murdering a 15-year-old girl who was stabbed to death on her way to school in Croydon. Eliane Andam was attacked by Hassan Sentamu in September 2023 after she tried to get him to return her friend's teddy bear. Israel's National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir says he'll resign from the government if the ceasefire deal with Gaza is approved. Israel's cabinet is due to meet tomorrow to vote on the agreement after all the remaining sticking points with Hamas were resolved. The oil giant BP is to cut 4,700 staff. That's around 5% of its total workforce. The British firm will also axe around 3,000 contractor positions as part of its plans to cut costs. And the American filmmaker David Lynch, best known for the TV series Twin Peaks, has died at the age of 78. He received 3 Best Director Oscar nominations for his work on Blue Velvet, The Elephant Man and Mulholland Drive.
What a stunner! It's an absolute cracker!
Ever feel like you just missed out on something amazing? With BBC Sounds, you can ask most smart speakers to go back to the start of the show. Just say, ask BBC Sounds to restart.
And now we are ready for the big one. Full commentary here on 5 Live.
So you never miss a thing again. Get more from your smart speaker with BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sport
with Eleanor Oldroyd.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
So 1-0 to Southampton at Old Trafford after 45 minutes. Still 1-0 to Brighton and Hove Albion at Ipswich. Aaron Paul, but as we've just been hearing, how on earth is it only 1-0?
Yeah, match that O from Reda Meulenstein back at base, because what a save from Christian Walter. Great work by João Pedro, turning, pirouetting beautifully, catching the ball sweetly on the half volley, but a flying save from the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. Then minutes later, he's kept Jorginho Rutter out as well at the near post, tipping an effort behind. Kieran McKenna has introduced 2 midfielders into the game. His side need to start making waywards up the pitch, because I'll tell you what, Brighton are very much in control this tie. Ipswich 0, Brighton 1.
Thank you very much indeed, Aaron. Now on the latest episode of EuroLeagues, Kwiatkowski's Kvaratskhelia imminent move from Napoli to PSG is a major talking point. Well, as a result, Manchester United's Alejandro Garnacho has been linked with Napoli. Guillaume Balaguer, Julien Laurent and Mina Rizuki and Steve Crossman discussed if it would be a good move for the young winger.
I am in no way surprised, Guillaume, to see that Alejandro Garnacho is being heavily linked in terms of a possible replacement, because Conte is basically doing at Napoli what he did at Inter, which is filling his squad with as many players signed from the Premier League as possible.
Not just him. I think every top manager would like to have a squad full of players that have been in the Premier League or shaped by the Premier League or have succeeded in the Premier League. Is the physicality of it, is the intensity. That's what he wants of his players, to be ever present, to run constantly, to do intensive runs as well, to look after the physique. It's okay to be able to play the ball, but you need to actually fight for the ball as well. Garnacho will be interesting, because I think Garnacho thinks he's very, very good, which he is sometimes, but not always. And when he isn't very good, it doesn't seem to be his fault. And I don't think he's dealing very well with the next step that he has to give in his career of keep working and be consistent, and not blame everybody else if things don't work. With Conte, he won't have that possibility of not looking at his game, but he's in a key part of his career, Garnacho. He can become a consistent top player, but in my eyes, he hasn't done it yet.
It's an interesting one, just to finish on Garnacho, because he's also on very low money, because he signed a contract with United until 2028. At the time, he was still a young player coming out of the academy to play in that first team. So if you're Napoli, I think it's a great idea that you have to try to tempt him away from Old Trafford. And if we believe what we told, that United would like 60 million euros for him, and Napoli have offered only 30 for now, you could also see them meeting in the middle somewhere. And for Garnacho, a bit like Kvaratskhelia was similar. Kvaratskhelia, I said, was on very little money at Napoli, which helps PSG, and it would help Napoli that Garnacho is on so low wages compared to if he was a Rashford wages, there was no way Napoli could afford Garnacho, and Napoli can't afford Rashford for that same reason. However, because Garnacho is on little money, that becomes a much doable deal than if he wasn't.
I do think Garnacho would actually be superb for Conte's schemes, and I think that maybe it would be the club that could revive his self-esteem and his confidence, because Conte would really put a lot of trust in him, and I think it could do wonders for the player to really grow.
Well, a reminder, you can listen to the latest episode of EuroLeagues right now on BBC Sounds. Quarter-final action tonight in the Masters snooker at Alexandra Palace. It's the two marks, Allen against Selby, Jamie Broughton.
And this has been a good match so far. Mark Allen took the opening frame with an 81 break. Mark Selby then knocked in an 88 break to level proceedings at 1-1. Allen, though, quickly responded with a century to go 2-1 up. We're now into frame 4, which has lasted nearly 55 minutes, and Selby has a 29-point lead with 42 left on the table. 6 is the target for victory and to play the 2015 champion Shaun Murphy in the semi-finals. Murphy beat Neil Robertson 6-2 this afternoon.
Thank you, Jamie. In tennis, Katie Bolter's hopes of making a deep run at the Australian Open ended in a second-round defeat to Veronika Kudermetova. Meanwhile, Emma Raducanu is through to the third round after beating the American Amanda Anisimova. That victory sets up a match against the second seed Iga Swiatek. The third ODI of the Women's Ashes takes place in Hobart tonight. Australia have 4-0 lead in the multi-format series. England must win at least 3 of the remaining 4 white ball clashes to retain any hope of claiming the Ashes ahead of the series-ending Test match. And coverage is over on 5 Sports Extra tonight from 10:45. Players are on their way out in the second half at Old Trafford. René Mullenstein with me in the studio. Just time for a quick word as Bruno Fernandes leads out the United team. I mean, Tyler Dibbling, very quick word about him. We were just saying we love watching a player with his socks around his ankles, but he's a talented 18, isn't he, for Southampton?
He is. You could see that when he turned and he created a chance for himself, and he dribbled and he took the ball into the box, and he had a great shot, a great save from Onana. But he's a threat. He's technically so good. He's got a swagger about him. He makes things happen, and he's a lovely player to watch.
And Alejandro Garnacho, just hearing about him in that EuroLeagues discussion. I mean, is he going to beat United? Is he going to Napoli?
Well,
what do you think?
We have to wait and see, but it's interesting to listen to the discussions, because, to be fairly honest, yes, he's a talented player, but Guillaume was right because in some ways I don't think Garnacho's personality fits in the sort of players that Conte wants. Because if Conte won something, then it is that physicality to his game and work rate and work back. And that is, I think, that he was referring to. So it would be really interesting to see if that would materialise. From a talent point of view, what he brings from the attacking point of view, I can see that, But, I'm not sure whether that's going to happen.
Probably should have scored in that first half, Connor, shouldn't he? Rasmus Højlund looked like he actually kicked a lump out of the post when that one missed.
Big opportunity that Garnacho should have taken, and 0-0 at the time. It would have put a completely different complexion on this first half. As it is, we're back underway for the second period. We've got a story brewing here at Old Trafford. Southampton, 1 Premier League win all season, bottom of the table, leading away from home at a malfunctioning Manchester United. Ruben Amorim came out really early for the start of the second half, ahead of all of the outfield players, apart from Anthony, who he's brought on as a half-time substitute. Anthony is on in place of Mainu, but it was a face of thunder for Ruben Amorim. He stormed up the side of the pitch looking, I'm just remembering this tanned, relaxed individual who came from Portugal a few weeks back, and he just has a cloud over his head now, and he looks absolutely in pieces, Ruben Amorim.
Oh, it happens to so many Premier League managers, does it? But this could change things.
Here come Manchester United. First attack of the second half. Bruno Fernandes into Anthony. First touch as a shot over the top. Good defending by Taylor Harwood. Bellassine, last touch came off him. out for a corner. Well, Anthony, who has had a checkered career at Manchester United, there have been one or two highs, there's been an awful lot of lows. He nearly made a proper impact there.
Yeah, good break from Manchester United. Good third man running, as we were discussing. Bruno Fernandes now in the midfield too, after the departure of Kobbie Mainoo in midfield too, alongside Ugarte, running from midfield, just breaking into spaces and nearly getting the reward with Anthony's effort.
Ahmad to take the corner from the far side, in swinger, comfortable free header for Ugochukwu to head away, but he's headed it straight to Garnacho, back out to the right hand side. Ahmad's delivery in. This time Mateus Fernandes is well located to clear. Southampton, everyone back defending the corner kick there, so there's no one to play it up to on the halfway line. Anthony will give it to Ahmad. Interesting to see what position Anthony takes. He's already popped up on the left and the right. Maybe he's got a bit of a free roll in behind Højlund, as Lenny Yoro here on the edge of the penalty area gives it out to Anthony. Now inside the penalty area, he pulls it back to the edge. Garnacho down on the deck for De Ligt onto his right boot, fires it in low, blocked by James Bree. Southampton haven't fully cleared as Manchester United are trying to build momentum here at the start of the second half, but a poor pass goes astray and out it goes for a throw-in to Southampton. Leon
a bit more tempo at the start of this second half that I was asking for at the start of the first half. Just sometimes playing percentage passes, getting the ball forward into good areas of the field, then you can start playing. That's what you do when you're lacking confidence, and nearly getting a couple of efforts on goal. Good defending, good start for Southampton defending, edge of the penalty area in this second half, but the game looks like it's competitive.
Let's go to Shrewsbury. Adam Cottier.
Wrexham's Owen O'Connell has given away a penalty here, so Shrewsbury have a chance to retake the lead. They've won only twice under Gareth Ainsworth. This is his 10th game in charge of the Shropshire club tonight, and John Marquis, who puts Shrewsbury ahead in the first half, has his penalty saved and then turns in the rebound. Shrewsbury are back in front. Shrewsbury 2, Wrexham 1.
Thank you, Adam. Here at Old Trafford, Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. Early stages of the second half, groans from the home fans as Kyle Walker-Peters intercepts possession. Southampton get it back again. Southampton played from left to right as we look down. They're defending the Stretford end in their change kit of yellow. Manchester United in their traditional red, white and black. As Bednarek has it here, 10 yards outside the box, and he rolls it back to the goalkeeper, the former Arsenal keeper, Aaron Ramsdale. So a reminder of how they line up. Andre Onana in goal for Manchester United, made some eye-catching stops in the first half. Lenny Yoro preferred to Harry Maguire tonight alongside Matthias de Ligt and Lisandro Martinez. Good work again by Sulemana, who's been great to watch tonight. Into the penalty area comes Southampton again, and they get another corner. They scored from their last one of these. Just to quickly complete the lineups, Ahmad and Mazraoui, the wing backs. Bruno Fernandes now alongside Manuel Ugarte in the middle of the midfield. Anthony with Garnacho in support of Højlund. The Southampton team, Ramsdale in goal, Bree, Bednarek, Harwood Bellis are the three central defenders, Sugawara, Walker-Peters the wing backs, Ugochukwu with the Rebo in the middle of the midfield, Tyler Dibbling and Mateus Fernandes in support of Kamaldeen Sulemana. Corner hasn't been taken yet. Manuel Fernandes preparing to take it. Now, the one they scored from came in towards the front post, and Tyler Dibbling got a flick on, and it deflected into his own net off Ugarte. Similar deliver. Tyler Dibbling tries to get a touch. This time De Ligt is able to nod it away. Bruno Fernandes clears to the edge of the box. Sulemana trying to volley. Manchester United trying to counter-attack, but groans again as Højlund got the ball stuck between his feet and wasn't able to find a pass.
Yeah, could have had 4v1 there if you just make a composed pass at the start. The first pass is always the most important, and Garnacho just sort of fired it into Garnacho, who still hadn't landed from his jump, and really stumbled in between his feet.
Ivan Juric is a hive of activity down in the relatively small Old Trafford technical area. When he's prowling that small space, he's like a sort of nuclear reactor test. There's a big thing going on, but it's all contained in a small area with Ivan Juric. But he's got to be delighted with this. Southampton in front in the Premier League. Goal at Portman Road, Aaron Paul.
Big goal at the bottom end of the table, because Brighton have some slack Ipswich defending, giving Jorginho Ruta the opportunity to turn, pivot on the spot and just slide the ball past Christian Walton. A free kick not dealt with, and Ipswich have paid the price. A poor free kick from Brighton, in fact, but why? They have capitalised on it. Ipswich 0, Brighton 2.
Inner on the back of Yoro again, shoots. That looked like a handball by De Ligt.
Got to be.
On-field decision is no penalty, but the VAR will be looking at that in the background. Sulemana, who went around Lenny Yoro, he's done that several times in the game, shot was fired in. It was blocked by Matthijs de Ligt. Which part of his body is the big question? We've not seen a replay yet, but that looked, at the very least, questionable.
Oh, it's really good again. I mean, Suleiman really has give Yoro a torrid time. Runs it behind.
Here's Aribo in behind, pulls it back looking for Tyler Tibbling, and sliding was Lisandro Martinez to try and clear it away. Not fully cleared. Lenny Yoro by the byline is under pressure by Aribo. Been really impressed by Aribo tonight. He's putting himself into action wherever he can find it. Taylor Harwood-Bellis makes the latest interception. Manchester United, who started the opening minutes of the second half a bit better, but they've crept back into the old bad habits. They're giving the ball away. Down goes Aribo on the edge of the penalty area. That's going to be a free kick. It was Leslie Ugochukwu who went down. He was falling into the penalty area, but the contact begun outside the box. It's a yellow card for Lisandro Martinez. It's a free kick to Southampton in very much shooting range.
Oh, powerful run right through the middle from Ugochukwu there, just seeing a space and running through it, but we still haven't seen the replay of the incident with the arm of Matthijs de Ligt. From our angle, it looked all ends up like it must have hit his arm. Whether it was high up on the arm, we're just about to see the replay now. Suleiman cuts inside brilliantly, effort towards the far post. Oh, it's probably within the range of the shirt.
Yeah, it's armpit.
His arm is in the air, no doubt about that, and it does hit the armpit and the underarm, but it's probably just within that length of shirt, which is allowed these days within the game. So unfortunate there, and for Southampton, because that shot was going in. So fortunate for United, first of all, that De Ligt got over and made the block, and second of all, that he didn't give away a penalty kick.
Well, there's a lot going on here. First of all, in that penalty, he's a lucky boy, De Ligt. Your arm should never be up in that position as a defender. If that hits him a bit higher, it's a certain penalty. As it is, it's into the armpit area, which would come under the jurisdiction of shirt sleeve. Ruben Amorim, who made a substitution at half-time, has now made a double change at the start of the second period. He's brought on Toby Collier and he's brought on Joshua Zirkzee. So Ugarte makes way and Hoyland makes way. Neither of them look happy as they walk around the perimeter of the pitch, but that is 3 changes in quick succession from an obviously very dissatisfied Ruben Amorim. With all that happening, Southampton have a free kick now within shooting range. Mateus Fernandes, who used to play under Amorim in Portugal, is going to strike it. Right-footed, clips off the top of the wall and goes out for a Southampton corner. It's still Manchester United 0, Southampton 1 on 5 Live.
Yeah, Wool does its job very well there from that free kick from the impressive Fernandes. But yeah, Ruben Amorim very quick. Hasn't even waited till the hour mark. He's given them a couple of minutes, started the second half. Thought they'd get a bit of momentum, but since then, last 4 or 5 minutes, it's been all Southampton. So quick to make the changes. Players aren't happy as they're walking down the side of the pitch, but ruthless in his decision making there, and rightly so from Amorim.
Corner to Southampton. Mateus Fernandes in swinger. De Ligt jumps at the front post and wins the header. It goes back out to Mateus Fernandes again. Bruno Fernandes up against him. 2 Portuguese players up against. Great footwork from Manuel Fernandes. Plays it into the penalty area and a good leap on the edge of the box. De Ligt to get involved as Manchester United struggle to clear. Mazraoui plays the ball off James Bree and out it goes for a goal kick to a very under pressure Manchester United defence. Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. We've played 10 minutes of the second half. Toby Collier is an interesting one. Turned 21 earlier on this month. You might remember he made his Manchester United debut as a substitute against Liverpool in August. That's been his only Premier League appearance before tonight for Collier. He did come on as a sub on Sunday against Arsenal in the FA Cup, but it feels quite a statement to bring Collier on here.
Yeah, and the midfield that he started with, Mainu and Ugarte, 53 minutes in, they've both been replaced, not for injuries, certainly just for performances and the fact that they're unable to get around the pitch. It's probably a little bit harsh in the sense that United's front 3 aren't getting back and helping out defensively. When they're in these games against United and Arsenal, there are 5 defensively, and the midfield are a 4. The 2 players, it's Garnacho and Anthony at the moment, would get back and make it a 4. Makes it easier for that midfield too. They've been exposed and they haven't been up to it tonight, Ugarte and Mainu.
Here come Manchester United. Anthony finds Mazraoui on the left-hand side. He pushes it in front of Garnacho. Stepping into the penalty area on the left, curls it in towards the back post. Little Ahmad, shortest man on the pitch arriving, was never going to leap for that. It sails over his head and out for a goal kick to Aaron Ramsdale away to our left-hand side. So Collier and Bruno Fernandes now as the two in the middle of the midfield. Xerxes is leading the attack. Anthony and Garnacho behind him. Manchester United need a goal.
Yeah, they do, and you're looking at the players out there. Bruno Fernandes, Garnacho, Ahmad, particularly impressive. They just haven't been on the same page this evening. One of them's made a run, the pass hasn't come. Someone's made a pass, the run hasn't been there. So it's been a moment, but they are only one goal behind, as off the pace as they have been, and as impressive as Southampton have been. Still one goal in this game. It only takes a moment to change that.
Just an image on our monitors of Rasmus Højlund and Manuel Ugarte sitting on the bench. They both look despondent to have been taken off here. A night that is not going well for Manchester United. I mean, defeat here at home again in the Premier League. It just feels unfathomable if it was to stay like this. Lisandro Martinez gives it to Mazraoui. Manchester United still in their final third. Up towards Xerxes, who's been able to turn Bednarak here, but Bree gets back. And now Garnacho's going to try and get it off Bree, but James Bree holds his nerve and rolls it. That started well for Xerxes, but he wasn't able to bring it with him.
Yeah, good recovery from Bree. As you said, Xerxes tried to do to Bednarak what Sulemana did to Yoro in the first half, but Bednarak was having none of it.
Look at Sulemana go here, scorching his way past Eleni Yoro into the penalty area, and he can't finish. It goes agonisingly across the face of goal and wide, but he started that inside his own half. Kamaldeen Sulemana has got Lenny Yoro on toast tonight, and he burnt his way past him there and just couldn't hold his nerve for the shot.
Where has this kind of performance been from Sulemana in particular, but Southampton as a team, where has it been all season? Yes, there's been a change of manager. Yes, it's people moving in our club.
Hang on, here comes Garnacho through the middle. Bree's the only defender back with him. Garnacho stumbles as he enters the penalty area, and the flag belatedly goes up anyway. He was offside.
Yeah, but Southampton just giving the ball to Sulemana. He's just saying, come on, I'll take you on. You're quick. And he's just saying, go on, I've got enough pace running with the ball than you have without it. He's got blistering pace, and he's taken the game to United's defence, and at the minute he's winning. Unfortunately for him, his finishing hasn't matched his all-round play, and as he's cut inside, again a tough angle, but he's passed it past the far post. He had support, he had Tejas Fernandes, and he had Tyler Diblin in the middle. He could have picked them out, but he chose the wrong option.
Well, Southampton have been widely written off in terms of any survival hopes this season. One win before tonight, bottom of the table, 6 points. But if they were to win tonight, go to 9, that would be within 7 of safety. Here is Garnacho, pulls it in, chance for Manchester United, they don't score! Garnacho did really well. Sliding in was Anthony, the much maligned Anthony. For his Manchester United career, he needed that to go in. What a chance, he slid, it seemed to come off his knee. He's 2 yards out, he's got to score.
That could actually make the list in the video of biggest misses that you'll see. I mean, it's a good break from Manchester United. They're finally starting to make runs in behind when Bruno gets it. He's got Garnacho to his left, he's got Anthony to his right, he's got people prepared with their body shape saying, play me in behind. He chooses to go down to Garnacho, who drops his shoulder, goes on the outside, flashes it across, and at the back post, inside the frame of the goal, probably 3 yards out, goalkeeper Ramsdale beaten, he was at his front post, comes across to him, and he lets it hit the middle of his shin, and it goes all the way back, it dribbles all the way back to the front post, where Ramsdale's happy just to gobble it up. What a big miss, completely open goal there. All he had to do was just control it into the net, and he missed his lines.
Oh, Anthony, a chance to become the hero tonight. Garnacho did everything right, trying to set him up. Ramsdale was protecting the front post, it's played low to the back post, it's an empty net, it just needs a pass, and he somehow concocted to not score. Down the other end comes Southampton. Tyler Dibbling into the penalty area, challenged by Lisandro Martinez. The game really stretched now. It's bypassing the midfield. Xerxes to Garnacho, bearing down on the Southampton penalty area. Bruno Fernandes has got space, urged to shoot, plays it into Anthony. He's challenged in the box. Manchester United want a penalty. Play on. Ahmad on the edge of the D, tried to weave into a bit of space. Picks out Garnacho on his right boot. He shoots, saved by Ramsdale, diving to his right hand side, and they're all complaining. Manchester United want a penalty, Southampton want a free kick, and I'll tell you what, the fuse has been lit here at Old Trafford. This is a proper game now.
Oh, it's exciting now, isn't it? I mean, probably Southampton have got a decision to make. Do they want to keep playing this basketball style, in which case, they might be the team to get the next goal, Or do they want to actually say, hang on, we can't keep playing like this, we can't have it as open as this, because Manchester United will eventually score. We've got an injury to Diblin, who's down at the moment. He was from the previous attack. I don't know if it was a kick or he rolled his ankle, but United went down the other end. Good bit of play, ending up in a shot on goal from distance that was easy enough for Ramsdale. We also had a moment where two players challenged for it, Bednarek and Bruno Fernandes. Both of them sort of got a bit of the ball, but a bit of each other, and both of them threw themselves on the floor asking for a free kick off the referee. He didn't know what to do, he just said play on, and the players got straight back up and off we went. It was everything that the Premier League has to offer at the minute.
Right, here is the situation. Delay in play, Tyler Dibling receiving treatment. Southampton 1-0 in front, an own goal from a corner, Ugarte into his own net just before half-time. Southampton, who've been the better team, who've had the better chances, but then Manchester United given a glorious opportunity to equalise, and Anthony, who came on as a half-time substitute, one League Cup goal. He scored a penalty against Barnsley in September. That's all he's got to show for it, his campaign. He's only scored once in his last 42 Premier League appearances before today, Anthony, and he somehow contrived to miss there, and we'll soon get that DVD out for Christmas, Leon Osman's greatest Premier League misses, which I look forward to putting on.
I'll feature it quite heavily, I'm afraid.
Right, Dibling is hobbling off, and I think he won't be able to continue. Will Smallbone down there is getting ready to come on. Now that is a shame to lose Tyler Dibling from a Southampton point of view, because he's been great, such youthful energy, really good to watch, and hopefully that's nothing too serious as he hobbles off, and Smallbone comes on, his first Premier League appearance since October.
Yeah, you hope it doesn't change too much from a Southampton point of view. I mean, he's been great, but it's also give the balance, and he just went inside the penalty area, and I think you were hoping for Southampton it was just a kick, but they were messing with his ankle a little bit, whether he's rolled it. Straight away they said he wasn't able to continue, which is a shame, and he's going straight down the side of the pitch to the tunnel. Oh, what's happened? Smallbone's come on, he's gone into the middle where Mateus Fernandes was operating, and he's now moved over to this near side in front of us where Tyler Dibling was operating, and big task on the hands of Smallbone coming on, because Fernandes was running the game in that central position for Southampton. He's now been moved into a wider position. Smallbone's going to have to keep doing as well as the thing he did before him.
That's the voice of Leon Osman watching this game with us on 5 Live. As Xerxes comes on the charge from Manchester United, onto his right boot. Oh, he tried to take on one man too many, did he? Still going, Xerxes tries to shoot. Kyle Walker-Peters make the block. There was a window of opportunity there, and Joshua Xerxes didn't take it.
Oh, he didn't, and he drove well 3v1, 3v2, and he tried to use the run of Anthony to create the gap himself. He had an opportunity, he wanted a better one. I don't know how often that happens in the Premier League, where once it opens up you turn it down, you're going to get a better opportunity. Players will recover quickly, and he let that opportunity go from just on the edge of the box.
Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. Ahmad on the attack for the home side, gets into the penalty area. Right hand side as Manchester United come forward. Anthony with a touch back to Collier, and then in turn back to Lenny Yoro. Look at Amorim here, arms outstretched. He doesn't know what they're doing here. He wants the team to be more incisive, get it into the penalty area, but they keep retreating. Manchester United players who performed bravely in the matches against Liverpool and Arsenal, but they've retreated to a safety first sort of option here. There's some nerves, and you can see the players don't want to make mistakes. They would prefer to try an easy pass than a dangerous one, and that has been a huge part of the problem here. It's attitude as much as anything, and Southampton can sense that, and they are putting Manchester United under all sorts of pressure now as Lisandro Martinez gives it up to Garnacho on the left-hand side, up against Yukari Sugawara. Garnacho waits for some support to come. Sugawara gets a touch, good defending, and last touch comes off the Argentinian throw into Southampton. And they will be beginning to look at the clock now and see that there are 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, but I think that's the longest spell that Southampton have had to defend for, be without the ball in the game. So whether you could look at that as United taking a bit of charge of the game, you look at that substitution has affected this Southampton team. I'm sure they'll want to get back into this Manchester United half. They've looked really impressive when they played in United's half.
Yeah. All this noise in the background is because Yukari Sugawara was taking all that time over the throw, and he kept creeping forward as well, and Manchester United felt he wasn't taking it from the right place. In the end, the throw-in comes in, small ball is fouled. Free kick to Southampton just inside their own half. Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. It's quite a story here tonight at Old Trafford. It's all over at Portman Road. Ipswich Brighton, Aaron Paul.
Second half goals from Mitoma and Ruta give Brighton a first league win, and this was a huge chance missed though for Ipswich, who were excellent in parts of the first half but terrible in the second. They're back in the bottom three. It's finished Ipswich 0, Brighton 2.
Brighton, who come here to play Manchester United on the weekend. Bruno Fernandes has given it away in the midfield. Ahmad trying to battle and win it back for Manchester United, but this is Sulemana wide in the left wing. He's had a brilliant game tonight. Gives it infield to Kyle Walker-Peters, stretching, doesn't control it properly, but the ball goes out off Ahmad for a Southampton throw, and they remain on the attack down the left-hand side. Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. Manuel Ugate's own goal, and we are approaching the midway point in the second half. Ruben Amorim, who has made 3 substitutions already, but can Manchester United get back on level terms? Bednarek at the back for Southampton. Gives it to James Bree. Short ball into the midfield to Ugochukwu, who made his Southampton debut against Manchester United when these sides met in September. Mateus Fernandes towards the edge of the penalty area, but it's a good ball in front of Sugawara, who didn't take it comfortably. And then there's a clumsy collision as much as anything, as Mazraoui tried to shield it out. And to be fair to Sugawara, he did make a song and dance about it. He wasn't trying to claim a penalty. Goal kick to Manchester United.
Yeah, he just didn't take it with him. It was a really well-timed pass from, again, Fernandes dropping into space, on pocket of space down the side of that two-man Manchester United midfield. He picked the right pass, but Sugawara in behind that United defence. If he takes it with him, real big chance for Southampton, but I don't know whether there was a tired touch. I do feel there's a creeping of tiredness within this Southampton team that Manchester United could maybe start to take advantage of.
Manchester United, who in recent minutes of the game have been pumping it long towards Joshua Zirkzee. At the moment it's back with the goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Onana, who saved a penalty to deny Cameron Archer the last time these sides met. He made some big saves in the first half here. But on 5 Live, it's the Saints who lead. And this is Bruno Fernandes on the halfway line. Manchester United attacking the Stretford end. Rolls it back to Lenny Yoro. Short to Ahmad, still inside the Manchester United half. Runs straight at Kyle Walker-Peters. Walker-Peters retreats away from him, doesn't want to lunge in. Ahmad has made it level with the edge of the penalty area. Now he's made it almost to the byline. Cuts back, Collier available. Socks down low on his ankles. His socks must be minute. Toby Collier, you have to have, sorry, not socks, but shin guards. You must wear, by the laws of the game, shin guards. And he must have these absolutely tiny shin guards because his socks are so low. Here comes Ahmad, makes a little burst towards the edge of the area. Return flick from Zirkzee. Well, it was flashy, but it wasn't effective. It doesn't pick out Ahmad, and Southampton clear away.
Oh, he tried a lovely back flick, and it was into good space, but Walker-Peters tracked that run from Ahmad all the way in there. As often as they can, Southampton are trying to sort of do man-for-man defending. Once Manchester United get into the final third, whoever Southampton are picking up at that moment, they kind of just stay with, track them all the way in. That's their responsibility. And at the moment, it's not allowing United to get away from anyone. That can happen when you're being zonal marked.
Well, a huge next half an hour to come here on 5 Live. For Southampton, if they were to get a first Premier League win under new coach Ivan Juric, I mean, what a statement that would be to win at Old Trafford, just to revive the dwindling hopes of survival to stay up in the Premier League. Tell you what, if they play like this every week, they'll actually will have a chance. As Yoro gives it back to De Ligt, he's inside the centre circle. He gives it to the left-hand side to Lisandro Martinez. Martinez making his 50th Premier League start. He gives it back into Matthijs De Ligt once again. Southampton holding off now. There's no big high press. They want to contain as Ivan Juric starts bellowing at his substitutes, and he's got to make a change. He's called a couple of guys back. Here's Anthony, crossing position on the right-hand side. Just flicks it into the feet of Zirkzee. Tries another one of those back heels, but Ugochukwu is there to clear away. Good return, Collier to Ahmad, and he blazes it. Did well to get to the byline, but blazed in across. No one can get on the end of that. Another wasted opportunity, and Manchester United still behind with 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, just lacking quality at crucial moments. It's a really good ball from Collier. And for once, Walker-Peters just lost Ahmad. He was looking to the assistant just to ask him a question, and in that moment, taking his eyes off Ahmad, he made a great run in behind, played in by Collier. But those are the when you're getting beat in front of a crowd like this and they're begging for you and you're not having many chances, you have to be good, you have to be composed in those big moments, and yeah, that was nowhere near it from Ahmad.
Manchester United unbeaten in their last 15 Premier League games against Southampton, but still trailing here at home as Garnacho tries to break into the penalty area, left-hand side, pulls it back, got to set up for Ahmad, and he drills it in. Good block. Diving in was Taylor Harwood-Bellis. That was quite similar to the goal that Ahmad scored at Anfield recently, arriving in the penalty area, tried to sweep it into the bottom corner, but it was blocked. And it's the Sulemana show again as he takes on Lenny Yoro, twists and turns the Frenchman one way then the other, rolls it back into the midfield to Aribo, and here is Mateus Fernandes again. That's not a good receive of the ball by the Portuguese player. He's given it away, but Manchester United dither and dwindle, and they don't do anything with it, and Mateus Fernandes is able to get it back for Southampton, gives it to Suleiman on the left-hand side, back into Mateus Fernandes. He's pulling all the strings now. Manchester United trying to recalibrate here a little bit, but there's still energy in those Southampton legs.
Yeah, just about. I mean, the manager's about to make a substitution. I think one or two of them are just starting to get cramped. I'm surprised the manager's actually not starting to get cramped. He's been up and down that little box of his own just as much as his players. But yeah, there's been a big effort from these Southampton players. A couple of them are just bending over, just getting their hands on their knees. But they've got themselves into a great position. They need a little bit of help from their manager now, as he's doing, to freshen it up, because I don't know if they can sustain this level to the end by themselves.
This is sensible from Ivan Juric. He will be tempted. Things are going well, tempted to sort of leave things as they are. However, he doesn't want things to start to tire now. And Flynn Downs, who wasn't involved at the weekend, he's going to come on here, and so too Armstrong. And it's interesting that Mateus Fernandes, who's been one of the standout performers tonight, he's one of those who makes way. The other is Sulemana.
I think it's Aribo. I think he's decided to swap and bring Aribo off,
okay. Okay.
Which is no surprise. Maybe they just messed up the numbers, but it'd be amazing to take Sulemana off, because he's the outlet. He really is. I'm surprised Yoro's not looking over to the bench, actually asking to get substituted, because he's had such a tough evening. Disappointing from our aspect to see Fernandes leaving the pitch. As you said, he's been outstanding for Southampton. Big task for the substitutes coming on.
Flynn Downs, his first appearance since Boxing Day. Aribo did a lot of the heavy lifting in the midfield in this game, and Flynn Downs, summer signing from West Ham, is going to have to try and take on that responsibility. Free kick to Manchester United for a foul on Collier just outside the penalty area that they defend away to our right. If you're just tuning our way on 5 Live, it is Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. There is just over a quarter hour of normal time to play. Bednarek is the Southampton player who was down. The boos in the background because he took a while to get back to his feet, and Manchester United fans feel that he's wasting time. But Adam Armstrong, Flynn Downs, the fresh legs recruited into the Southampton team now to see it through. De Ligt, centre circle, rolls it short to Lisandro Martinez. He's got Mizraoui beside him. Sugawara putting pressure on him, and Manchester United retreat back into the centre once again. This is Lenny Yoro. It's only his 8th Premier League appearance, and he's only played in 1 victory so far in the top flight, Lenny Yoro. Huge amount of money spent on him, but he's only left the field in the Premier League once on the winning side. Throw in for Kyle Walker-Peters. 10 yards into Manchester United territory. It's quiet around Old Trafford. There's this sinking feeling in the pit of the stomach of Manchester United fans that they have felt far too often this campaign already. But lose here, and this will be... I mean, you know, there will be so much comment about it, because just when they thought some positives in the recent Cup game and the performance at Anfield, any goodwill that was built and garnered there will be dissipated if Manchester United lose to the team at the bottom of the Premier League here at Old Trafford tonight, as Ugo Chukwu, under pressure from Xerxes, gives it back to Harwood-Bellis. Southampton doing well to protect the ball here in tight areas, and now Flynn Downs will bring it over the halfway line, left-hand side. Sulemana's away on one of those runs again, and Downs tried to find him. Good interception by Ahmad. Out it goes for a Southampton throw. Leon.
So there's 2 ways of looking at that. I mean, absolutely, the feeling of Manchester United losing to the bottom team in the Premier League, a team that at the moment is statistically the worst the Premier League has had so far. They've got the least points even on goal difference at this stage of the season. But this hasn't been a performance of that kind of team. Hasn't been the performance of a team that's given up, that doesn't look like they can stay in the Premier League or doesn't even have the quality. This has been an outstanding performance. I mean, I'm looking at Ivan Juric, who's I'm loving how animated he is on the touchline, but how is he going to get this team to repeat this week after week? Because no matter what happens from this stage, that what they've shown has been very, very good. We haven't seen it enough this season. Can they repeat it? Can they go into games and put this level of performance in? From that point of view, United have just got to figure out how to get something from this point.
Still 14 minutes plus the stoppages to go, so Southampton won't count any chickens, but you know, come the end of the season, might they look back at tonight as a turning point, but at the very least they gave themselves a chance, they gave themselves some belief, because it's not just that they've nicked a goal here and scrappy and, you know, lucky to be in front. Southampton deserved, they've been the better team tonight. And for Manchester United, you know, Ruben Amorim came in, he knew it wasn't going to be easy, but if it stays like this, Leon, it's going to be 4 home defeats in a row. 4 home defeats in a row. That has not happened to Manchester United in almost a century.
No, and you know, everybody knew this was going to be an incredible task when he came in, but I think people were expecting him to be further down the road at this point. I think that's probably still harsh, but I think United are still expected to beat the teams in the bottom 3 that at home. They're still expected to have a level, and if they're doing this, you'd certainly say they've taken a backward step since he's joined. Sometimes you have to take a backward step before you step forward, but this would constitute a backward step.
Manchester United just 7 points clear of the relegation zone, closer to the bottom 3 than they are the European places. Here is Joshua Zirkzee attacking down the left-hand side. Manchester United need a big moment, but it's not going to happen there. The Dutchman just kept going. He couldn't find a pass, he couldn't find a shot, and it was taken away from him by James Bree. Southampton have made a mess of clearing it away. Garnacho shoots, but it's a daisy cutter. It's a dribbler. It's of no threat at all, and you can hear the boos around Old Trafford. That was a tame effort from Garnacho. He needed to be better than that.
Yeah, they also want a corner kick, because as that first run came in from Zirkzee, and surprised me that Bednarak dropped off so much. He dropped off and he dropped off, but what he did was he allowed the recovery run from Bree just to come on the blind side of Zirkzee and kick the ball away, and it went out by about 2 yards, maybe 1.5 yards for a corner kick. I can see it from where we are in the commentary box, but the assistant and the ref didn't see it.
Down the other end, Armstrong for Southampton runs into Lisandro Martinez on the edge of the penalty area. I tell you, that would have been highly controversial if Garnacho had scored, having, you know, the ball having been out of play in the build-up. Surely VAR would have come back and looked at that, surely.
That would have been mad. Had they cancelled the United goal to give them a corner kick, that would have set this stadium alight, absolutely. But again, the effort that came in just wasn't good enough to beat Ramsey. I'm thinking about, has he had to make an outstanding save? Has he really been tested?
Here's Zirkzee, Bruno Fernandes, saved by Ramsdale. Bruno Fernandes tries to follow it in. Bree hooks it off the goal line. Manchester United coming close, but Aaron Ramsdale makes one of his best saves of the night, and it's still Manchester United 0, Southampton 1. Yeah. Bruno Fernandes tried to dink it.
Yeah, well, there it is. Just talking about, has he had to make an actual save? A good save, Ramsdale, here tonight. Well, that was it. And you expect Bruno Fernandes, when he goes through in those situations, to be finding the net. Again, it's on the angle. It's probably about 4 yards out, real angle. He's trying to chip the goalkeeper, but Ramsdale makes himself so big, makes a really good save, and the defenders are around to recover that follow-up.
Bednarek has committed a foul on Zirkzee. Manchester United get a free kick midway inside the Southampton half. Ruben Amorim is wildly gesticulating down there. He wants to get a double substitution on. He's going to bring on Harry Maguire, and he's going to bring on Christian Eriksen. Harry Maguire, who scored a late goal in the Europa League earlier on this season to snatch a draw for Manchester United, and Amorim must be hoping that with one of these set pieces that Maguire might be able to do something similar here. Southampton in response to making changes to it. It's a waste of a free kick. It's clipped in by Bruno Fernandes, and out it goes for a goal kick.
But that's, I mean, that comes down to organisation. The free kick is on this side of the pitch, probably on line with the outside of the penalty area on the left side. All of United's big players go over to the far side, and then Bruno plays it short across to the right back area, and then Ahmad puts it back over to left, where they've only got Garnacho going for a header. I mean, it's been that kind of evening for United, where you feel like they're organised, you feel like they've set up, and then it's all fallen to pieces.
Manchester United 0, Southampton 1, 10 minutes to go on 5 Live at BBC Sound. Suzuka Chukwu controls well, helped out by Flynn Downs, up towards Smallbone, taken away from him by De Ligt, and here come Manchester United. Xerxes over the halfway line, gives it to Ahmad, slightly behind him. Ahmad's been able to adapt though, brings it into the penalty area, 2 step overs, tries to shoot low, Walker beat his pass, Ahmad is in again, and he scores at the Stretford end. Feel the relief for Manchester United. They've dragged it back level. Ahmad finishing really well here. That's the quality that Manchester United have been lacking all night. It's Manchester United 1, Southampton 1.
And who is it going to be? That young man, Amad Diallo. He's been outstanding under Ruben Amorim since he's joined the club. He has been the go-to man for goals, for assists, for momentum, for everything. But it still took a little bit of luck this evening. Really good the way the ball came to him. One thing in his mind, he drove forward into that Southampton penalty area, backed up. Walker Peters backed him up inside the penalty area. That makes it harder for the defender. Then he cuts onto his left foot and he tries to place the shot to the far post. Walker Peters reads it, he cuts it, he sticks out his right leg, blocks it, and it just hits Ahmad again on the knee, falls right into his path, onto his right foot in the penalty area, and he hits it hard and low, beats Ramsdale, who probably wasn't expecting it with that ricochet happening. Fortunate for Manchester United, it beats him low at the front post. Really good from Ahmad, really important from Manchester United. Heads just drop for Southampton as they also trying to make a double substitution to get them over the line, but 8 minutes to go plus stoppage time and we've still got a game on.
What a finish, and it ain't over yet. Manchester United 1, Southampton 1. Can Ruben Amorim's team go and win it? How is Southampton going to react to this? The team at the bottom of the Premier League, who've led for so long. Right, Paul Onuachu has come on, Nathan Wood has come on, Uga Chukwu has made way, Bednarek as well. And the Manchester United changes. Harry Maguire has replaced Lenny Yoro, and Christian Eriksen has come on in place of Mazraoui. Chaotic finish to the game at Old Trafford, but Ruben Amorim will be so relieved that at the very least Manchester United have got this back on level terms, because the fallout of losing at home to Southampton, that would have been a very big deal indeed. De Ligt clears away for Manchester United. Header by Taylor Harwood-Bellis. There was a bit of fortune to the Manchester United goal, but Ahmad still took it well. Bruno Fernandes looking to find Ahmad. Walker Peters is the defender, 15 yards outside the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes gets it back again, steps into the box, right hand side, swings it in with his left boot, took a deflection off a defender. Flynn Downs clears away, but Southampton look on less sturdy ground now and they can't fully clear. Bruno Fernandes will come again. He's found a new lease of energy, tries to clip it into the penalty area, won't sit up for Christian Eriksen, and Sulemana tries to come away, but De Ligt slides in, and there's no fancy stuff from Sulemana that time. This is Ahmad, deafening at Old Trafford. Bruno Fernandes heads it to the edge of the 6-yard box, header up into the air and just about away by Sugawara, but not very far as Bruno Fernandes collects it again. Manic ending at Old Trafford. Manchester United want to go and win it. Cross into the box by Alessandro Martinez. That's easily cleared away. Collier picks it up on the edge. Christian Eriksen alongside him, and the Old Trafford crowd are urging Ruben Amorim's team to really go for it now.
Yeah, and at the moment Southampton have had to back up to the edge of their own penalty. You just can't see them getting out just for the way Manchester United are going about attacking this game. I mean, they've brought on players, they've brought on Onuachu and they brought on Wood just to give them a little bit of something else. Maybe hold the ball up, bring people into play, make it hard for United to just keep on sustaining attacks, because that's what's happening at the moment. This is the United performance I expected from the first whistle. It shouldn't take till the 80th minute, and it shouldn't take till getting a goal back to allow this sustained amount of pressure to build on your opposition.
Ahmad, who is developing a very useful knack of scoring important goals for Manchester United. He got that equaliser at Anfield. He's got the equaliser tonight. It's the first time in Ahmad's career that he has scored in consecutive Premier League games now. 5 minutes of normal time to play. Toby Collier has the ball at his feet midway inside Manchester United's half. United attacking a Stretford end that is suddenly believing that maybe this evening could have a happy outcome after all. You know, it's strange. We said right at the start this evening, Leon, that this Manchester United team seemed to play better when they are underdogs. They were underdogs at Anfield. They were underdogs at the Emirates. it reached a stage in the second half here where they're behind, where they felt underdogs against Southampton. That's when they started to play, as Anthony fails to get past the defender down the right wing, but he wins a throw in for his team.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? I mean, the talent that they've got, the stature that you've got playing for this football club. This type of performance should be a given. Certainly the effort, the attitude.
Anthony plays it into the penalty area from the right wing. Sugawara trying to keep tabs on Garnacho, who sprints to the touchline and keeps the ball in play. Lisandro Martinez into Christian Eriksen. Fresh legs having recently come on. Bad pass by Eriksen, and De Ligt just about holds on to possession there. Back to Harry Maguire, who's not been feeling the best lately, but Amorim felt he needed him to come on for the closing stages here. Heavy challenge on Anthony. Free kick to Manchester United.
Oh, I think the crowd bore that one. It was a good 4 or 5 seconds after the incident happened before the referee gave the set piece, and actually Southampton had popped it, set back and played a lovely through ball to Armstrong, who I think would have got there just about the edge of the penalty area. So big decision from the ref.
It almost feels a draw's no use to Southampton. They've got to win. They're too far adrift to the bottom of the table. They've been in front for too long tonight, but having just relocated into a defensive mode, it's very difficult to come on the attack again. As Ahmad comes on the attack for Manchester United, good feed to the byline. Walker-Peters tackles him. Goal kick. Last touch came off Ahmad. Goal kick to Ramsdale and to Southampton, and there's 3 minutes of normal time to play.
It's been a really good battle that between those two, because Southampton have actually just left Walker-Peters just to go 1v1 against Ahmad all evening long, and sometimes Ahmad has got the better of Walker-Peters, but the majority of times Walker-Peters has defended brilliantly. He'd just being 1v1, being exposed. You've seen what happened when Yoro's been exposed 1v1 at the other end to Sulemana. It can be so difficult when you're in that battle up against someone who can manipulate the ball, who's got real pace and power. It's been a good battle, and it took a little bit of fortune for the ball to go Ahmad's way for the equalising goal.
Ahmad's goal, his 7th of the season, his 4th in the Premier League. Throw in by Garnacho. Maguire stabs it forward towards Joshua Zirkzee. Flag is raised on the far side. Manchester United offside. Just over 2 minutes of normal time to play. Well, it's been a very entertaining evening. You've got to credit Southampton for how well they've played for so long, and you do have to credit Manchester United, who at times have been shambolic tonight, but they've found a way somehow to drag themselves back into it. Whether it's enough to appease the crowd here, I'm not sure. Would they have taken a draw before kick-off? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. But there is still time for that winning goal. But yeah, I mean, for the majority of this game, Southampton have been very good, so impressive. I mean, again, I say it, not the performance of a team that is comfortably bottom of the Premier League and look all but down. Come to Manchester United, been pretty dominant in the game, and somehow Manchester United have found themselves, they've found a way to get back.
Manchester United have it on the halfway line with Christian Eriksen. He'll roll it back to Harry Maguire. We are approaching the 90th minute. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The Premier League this Thursday evening. 1-1 at Old Trafford. Ahmad, the Manchester United goalkeeper, goal scorer. Here he is, breaking into the penalty area down the right-hand side. Pulls it back from Christian Eriksen. Tries to return to Ahmad. What a great ball! What a goal! 2-goal hero Ahmad has won the game for Manchester United, and he's broken Southampton hearts. This was an excellent goal. Ahmad's dribble into the box. Christian Eriksen returning it on a plate. He just stretched to get there, but he finishes from close range. Amad Diallo has arrived as a Manchester United player this season. He continues to create the big moments, and from 1-0 down, Manchester United lead as we go into stoppage time at the very end of the game.
Wow, as I said, I thought there'd be another moment. I thought there was time for Manchester United with the impetus they've got, with the tempo they've got at the moment, pushing this tiring Southampton team backwards. And of course it's going to be Ahmad, that man that has real pace. He's got a real eye for big moments in this Manchester United season. It doesn't seem to matter whether it's the first minute or the last minute. His pace and his running power doesn't seem to dissipate. Again, he gets Walker-Peters on that far side of the pitch. He cuts inside. This time he decides to pass it off, to pass it back in from the corner of the penalty area, and he just keeps his run towards the goal from the corner of the penalty area. And he passed it to the right man. He picked out Christian Eriksen, who has an eye for a pass. He's got ability. And there's probably only him and Bruno Fernandes out there on the pitch right now that could have played that kind of deft pass over the top with a bit of spin into the tiniest of gaps that meant Ahmad just needed to stretch and get a toe on it, full stretch, just to try and guide it towards that goal of Ramsdale. He does it, doesn't really give the keepers any chance, such close range, and sends this Manchester United crowd to raptures.
Bruno Fernandes boots the ball up into the air. What a change in atmosphere here now. Manchester United fans gleefully singing, dancing, all up on their feet. You know, for much of the evening, they've been howling abuse of their own players for a poor performance. Sugawara tries to attack for Southampton. They're going to get a stoppage time corner here. The game not over yet, but surely Manchester United are not going to let this slip now. It's the incredible redemptive power of football. You know, you can have a stinker, you can play dreadful. If you score the goals, if you win the game, all that bad stuff gets very quickly forgiven and forgotten.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Manchester United players high five. Martinez out of position. Young Collier came back, made a great recovery tackle there. Suddenly everything's rosy again.
Southampton are going to give this everything. They're all up for it. Ramsdale's on the halfway line. Everyone else up around the penalty area. Sugawara prepares to swing it in. He's got some tall teammates to aim for. Not a bad delivery. Headed down, but it's blocked away and out for a goal kick. That could have been something. But in the end, there was enough bodies in the way of the target and the header couldn't find its way through.
Well, it was blocked away. It must have come off a Southampton player because a goal kick's been given. And it does. Oh, that's... You talk about the finest of margins. I think it's Taylor Harwood-Bellis who actually heads it. But it hits his own player. Let's see who it is. It hits Downs. I mean, it could have been going to the far post. It might have been going to the keeper. It was such a quick turnaround. We'll never know. But it was headed goal-bound. Only for it to hit Downs, who was in a real central position, and goes out for a goal kick. Just takes all the pressure off.
We are midway through the 5 minutes that were added on. Manchester United, who have come from behind to lead Southampton 2-1 here. 2 goals from Ahmad. No surprise he's been named player of the match for that. You know, go back 10-15 minutes, it felt inconceivable that a Southampton player wouldn't be player of the match, but Ahmad is the definition of match winner if it stays like this.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been incredible this season. I mean, I wouldn't see how he doesn't win.
Oh, mistake, he's in for his hat-trick. Ahmad! What's happened there? Taylor Harwood-Bellis has switched off as Southampton collapse. They felt they might have been on their way to a glorious victory at Old Trafford, but they've crumbled at the end, and it's hat-trick hero Amad Diallo that makes it Manchester United 3, Southampton 1. Well, I'll tell you what, Manchester United fans get put through the ringer, don't they? The roller coaster of emotion tonight, at times dreadful, and then the sublime, the late hat-trick from Ahmad to win the game for sure.
Yeah, I think Southampton fans have been through it too, because that was a goal like they've conceded all season long. That was a throwback to how they performed in the first probably 15-20 games of their season, playing it round at the back, getting caught out, playing it to the goalkeeper, playing it to Harwood-Bellis before he's ready, before he's set, as he's trying to get into position on that left-hand side, and he just has a poor touch. Ahmad just does what he's been doing all season long. He just closes him down, gets inside, pounces on the poor touch, takes the ball off him 8 yards out. Ramsdale's not in the goal frame because he's out wide to receive a pass. It's the simplest of touches, simplest of passes with the right foot into the back of that goal. And talk about making a difference on the night. What a performance from Ahmad. What a recovery from Manchester United in a game that looked all but lost.
What a month he's had. Amad Diallo scored the winning goal of the Manchester derby mid-December, scored against Tottenham in the League Cup the following game, got that dramatic late equaliser at Anfield as Manchester United drew 2-2 with the league leaders Liverpool, and now tonight a hat-trick, a second-half hat-trick from Amad Diallo as Ruben Amorim has somehow pulled a victory out of the flames here for Old Trafford's crowd.
Yeah, and credit.
Flynn Downs tries to come forward for Southampton as we play on. We're approaching the 96th minute now. Xerxes jumps near the halfway line, and it's down to Ahmad, the young man with the world at his feet now. Just this week they've given him a new contract through to 2030. Now there'll be no regrets about that tonight.
I think there will be from him. Trying to go back in tomorrow.
Nacho tries to shoot, and it's touched away by Ramsdale. for a Manchester United corner. Wow, hat-trick for Ahmad has changed everything.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Manchester United have done brilliantly to recover. That man Ahmad in particular. Ruben Amorim's been able to make changes. He's been able to look at his bench, make changes, some of them ruthlessly, some of them to try and impart on the game. The Eriksen substitution helped do the game. Southampton substitutions only made them worse, unfortunately. They were so competitive when they had that front three, Suleiman, Fernandes and Dibblin. Two of them had to go off and it gave the game to United.
It is all over. Manchester United have beaten Southampton by 3 goals to 1. And you know, for younger listeners, this is what it used to be like here at Old Trafford. Manchester United would regularly create dramatic late comebacks to win games. In the 82nd minute tonight, Manchester United were still 1-0 down, but 1-1 in the 82nd minute, 2-1 in front in the 90, and Ahmad was to complete his hat-trick in the 94th minute. He will take home the match ball. Manchester United take 3 valuable points, and they stop the rot of what had been 3 home defeats in a row. Your heart has got to go out for Southampton. They've given this everything tonight, but it's another defeat for the team rooted to the bottom of the table.
Yeah, disappointing from Southampton, having gotten to the 82nd minute ahead at Manchester United, and should have been more than the 1 goal ahead at that point, but didn't take the chances to extend that lead. It always meant one moment, one mistake, one bit of individual brilliance could equalise or get the games level. So yeah, they'll be disappointed. They'll look towards the next game. They'll look back at this performance and say, well, we should be able to do that every single week. This is the level, this is the standard now. We can be competitive even away from home in the Premier League. And as disappointed as this is, but Manchester United, yeah, I mean, I look at Ruben Amorim and you know, what a scarring defeat this could have been for him had they lost this game. And you know, I said it would have been a step back. It nearly was a step back, but you know, we're talking with Relly Mullerstein before the game. I think he's finding his characters. I think he's finding his people that he can send on when the chips are down and he can rely on in these moments. And he made a lot of substitutions. He couldn't wait to bring Harry Maguire back on to affect the game. He brought Christian Eriksen on, who made a wonderful pass. And that man Ahmed, I'll be surprised if he ever leaves the pitch again.
Manchester United's first win in 5 Premier League games. Ruben Amorim hoping that he's turning the corner now. That impressive draw away at Liverpool. The FA Cup win at Arsenal. Now another win at home to Southampton. Are the new manager's methods beginning to work? He certainly relied on the individual brilliance of Ahmad tonight. For Southampton, well, they've lost all 4 Premier League games since Ivan Juric took charge. Scoreline tonight doesn't quite tell the full story, but you stretch back to their last Premier League season, and this is now 18 Premier League away games without a win for Southampton. It is relegation form. They lose again. Manchester United 3, Southampton 1.
Oh, what an absolutely breathless game at Old Trafford tonight. Connor and Leon, stay with us for a couple of minutes while we reflect on this. You'll be able to hear reaction in Tony Livesey's programme, which is coming up once we've finished picking through this. René Mullenstein with me in the studio. You called it, actually. You said the moment that United scored, that's going to be it. There will be more to come from United.
Yes, you could feel it, because then the substitutions made a difference. It's like the shackles came off, and it allowed Ahmad to play further forward, and you could see he was dominating Walker-Peters. He was giving him a really hard time. But that is the type of football that you then expect from Manchester United throughout the whole of the game. Clever little passes, pass and move, little 1-2s over the top, and obviously good finishes. So we didn't see any of that for the first 80 minutes.
As I said to you, should Anthony sit down? Should he be made to sit down and watch the finish for that Diallo second goal?
He should, because that was a bad finish. And when you finish those, if you don't take those chances, you start to think, oh, it could have been one of those games. But I think Leon said it before as well. What is Southampton going to do now? Are they going to hold on to the 1-0, or are they keeping pushing forward and stretch the game? And as soon as those, these little gaps appear, then United has that, individual quality to open them up.
It's a cruel game, this, isn't it, Leon? Because if Southampton had hung on and got that victory, that could have been just the thing that made a difference to the rest of their season.
Yeah, it could have done. But if I'm in that dressing room now, I'm as disappointed as I am. I'm also saying, what a level of performance we put in for 80 odd minutes of the game. We tired, I didn't think the substitutions helped. I'm not saying that the manager didn't need to make them because, Diblin got injured. Maybe he could have left Fernandes on. But the moment he made those substitutions to his team, where they did look tired, they did look like they maybe needed freshening up, I was saying, the moment he brought on Smallbone and Flynn down and he added them to the midfield, suddenly they were only there to defend the lead, and suddenly that gave Manchester United the opportunity to step forward and keep on stepping forward rather than having to run back to their own goal, because for the previous part in the game, Manchester United constantly had to run back. Suleiman gave Lenny Yoro a torrid time. Fernandes, Diblin kept getting the ball, kept being a huge threat, and United have to keep on defending. The moment Southampton made those changes, it was all Manchester United, and they kept pushing. As Rene said, once you got the first, you felt, I've said in the commentary, even in the 88th minute, there'll still be time for Manchester United. You just felt it, you sensed it within the stadium, and they pushed, they showed good character, and their manager probably won't be pleased in his interview about the overall performance, but he'll be delighted with the character they've shown and the fact that they came back and wrestled a victory.
Is that Diallo still out on the field?
Yeah, he's just leaving now. He's just been awarded his Man of the Match trophy to go alongside the match ball, which I was also pleased to see. As soon as the final whistle went, he searched out the match ball, ran straight over to it, grabbed it, and he was like so excited and proud to have it, as you should be when you score a hat-trick.
As far as the managers are concerned, Ruben Amorim, we said at half-time, looked pretty broken, Rene, didn't he? But he's going to have much more of a spring in his step now.
Yeah, there was a lot is on his head, and he knew he had to do something, which he did with taking Mainu off and bringing Anthony on. I don't necessarily think that was the substitution that made any difference, especially not the miss that he had. But he kept throwing other players. I think Zirkzee came on really well, and he pressed from the front, which resulted in the last goal. Obviously, a bit of a mistake from Southampton, but that's the sort of kind of difference, because that puts everybody on the front foot behind those players. But he must have thought, I think, yes, like Leon said, he's delighted with the win, but he will look back and he says, how can we start games like this and give all the initiative to the opposition, and then they go ahead of us, and then we have a mountain to climb, and that is a head scratcher for him.
Yeah, and you said it, I think, Leon or Connor, maybe it was Connor, that it's almost this kind of, they have to have their backs against the wall before they come out and play. Yeah,
like they've almost underdogs, like against Liverpool, nobody expects anything. Same like Arsenal, nobody expects anything. But against Southampton at home, you would think it is Man United, banging on the door, for Southampton for 80 minutes and try to break it down, not the other way around. But again, all the credit to Southampton, the way that they played. It never looked a bottom team of the Premier League for a long time. And Juric must be so disappointed to come away with nothing after such a fantastic performance.
Elliot, it's that feeling, for Manchester United. You ask why they have to be behind. When you are behind and the crowd's baying for you to get back in, you suddenly feel like, I'm going to have to run 10 yards more, I'm going to have to run to that space, I'm tired, but I'm going to have to do it because we have to force the issue. You need to get that feeling when it's 0-0. You need to get that feeling when you're playing every team, that if you want to create the goals, you want to force the issue, you want to show that you're the better team. Go and force the issue, or go and make those runs when it's 0-0. Don't wait until you have to do it. But that's when Manchester United look better, when they have to make those runs.
It was interesting, Leon, as well, because I thought Ahmad was very quiet in the first half, and when Anthony came on, I started looking, okay, it's going to be interesting to see who he's taken off. And I couldn't really figure it out earlier on, and luckily he didn't take him off, because in the second half, that's the Ahmad that we want to see. Higher up the pitch, 1v1s with the right back, coming inside, doing what he did, and then he scored 3 goals.
Well, so near 82 minutes they were leading until Southampton, until that Amad Diallo hat-trick within 12 minutes. United winning 3-1. Going to get harder for Southampton as well. They've got Forest away coming up on Sunday. Then they're at home to Newcastle, who are absolutely flying at the moment. And then an absolutely massive game at Portman Road